Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of WrestleCast. I'm your host, Richard Billy Jr., and tonight I'm joined by Mr. Adam Vale. How's it going, Adam?
I'm good. I took a shower this month. I'm feeling fresh, ready to go.
That's good. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
We're also joined by Miss Dana Abercrombie. How's it going, Dana?
It's going good.
That's good. That's good. So, well, we will not be joined by Ricky this week. I did want to give him a shout out. He is busy with family at the moment, so it's all good. But as most of you already know, last week there was a lot of things that happened. So I thought it was important for us to do a show as soon as possible, especially because the McGregor-Mayweather fight is taking place tomorrow night, and I want to see some of that just to see what happens. So,
I think it's going to be quick, man. That has to be quick. I mean, I just don't. I mean, if anybody who's watched UFC and they've seen McGregor, then you know when he did the Diaz fight and when Diaz was like, yo, let's bang. And he was like, all right. And he got knocked the fuck down. And then Diaz took control of that match. I mean, and Diaz could box. So think of somebody like Mayweather who's like 10 times better than Diaz when it comes to boxing. I just don't see it. I just don't see McGregor. And then I don't know if you saw Dana White. I think he did this on purpose just to spark something, but he posted a little video of showing McGregor training with some guy boxing, and then he just was taking some shots and went for the takedown.
wow.
And I'm sure he's not going to do that, but I could see him trying to like get him against the rope and maybe try to trip him up. Try to trip him up and get him to go down. I could see him trying to do some shady shit because he's shady. He gets a little grimy, and he's a showman, so I can see him trying to pull some of that shit and try to make a show out of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We'll see.
I don't see more than 1 minute. I really don't.
Yeah, I see it first round.
Wait. In whose favor?
Mayweather.
The only thing against all that is that Mayweather's really not so much of a knockout guy. He usually does do the dance around and he wears you down. So that's the thing. I think it's going to be quick. I think it's going to be quick, but it depends on how McGregor runs in. And if they both talk it out, which I think they will, because this is really not an official, boxing federation type of thing. I think they probably already talked about it. It's all right. Listen, let's jab around. Let's dance around for the first 2 minutes. Let's get people to get their money worth. Let's not pull a Tyson here, and then maybe round 3 or 4, then we bang and we see what happens. All right, cool. Touch gloves. There we go.
4? Really? I can't even see. Wow.
Yep, they want people to get their money's worth.
Maybe 2.
So I could see that. I could see them even doing the 2 round, and it's like, all right, after we dance around, we get a feeler and stuff like that. Then we start really going at it. But at least people don't bitch that, wow, we paid all this money for a 1 rounder.
You think people they don't care about how much money people spend?
Oh, they do. They do, because then it makes them look bad. Nobody wants to be in that. Then they look bad. Both of them. They don't want to look bad. Think if they both run at each other and start banging, which I doubt, but if they did, and then one guy goes down, you just made him look weak. You just made all this hype, everything look bad, and they don't want to do that. So they'll just drag it out. I mean, I don't know if you saw the Pacquiao fight, but that's what a lot of people felt happened in a Pacquiao fight.
Yeah,
Oh,
they both.
gosh.
Remember they both started dancing around. It looked like they didn't even want to fight. They're throwing light jabs at each other and stuff, and then it was like, all right, round over, next round. You know what I mean? And what was that? I'm telling you, this is a business. This is all business. I mean, they both made millions of dollars already, so this is just to make the crowd happy. This is the entertainment part of it. So,
that's right.
That's the way I see it. So.
We'll definitely see what happens tomorrow night with that. But
is that true that they made that fake title belt? Did you see that money title belt?
I heard about that belt. I didn't see it yet.
I saw a picture of it, and I'm like, is that legit? Like, are they going to whip that out, and the winner gets this money belt? Like, is Ted DiBiase going to come out and hand that to somebody? Because I was like, what the hell? But I did see the tickets. Did you see the tickets? The physicals, when you pick up, it's freaking awesome. It looks like it's like a hologram type thing on it.
The ticket?
Really nice. Yeah, the ticket, the actual ticket. If you look up the ticket, see if I find these tickets.
That's probably why the tickets are so expensive then.
There were some real cool looking tickets.
I gotta check that out. Well, we'll see what happens with that fight tomorrow night. But for now, we're going to share a lot of our thoughts on what has happened in WWE this week, because there's been a lot of things that have happened, as well as talk about a little stuff from our reactions from Takeover, so on and so forth. So we're going to start right now. Basically, I wanted to ask you both what you thought of WWE NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3, which took place last Saturday on WWE Network. I'm gonna just start off and say real quick that I didn't see much of the event because I was out of town visiting family that weekend, but I did see a few highlights afterwards. But yeah, I want to ask you both what were your thoughts, what you liked and disliked. So Adam, how about you go first?
Oh, what did I like and what did I dislike? Well, I liked almost every match that they had on there. I like the Altars of Pain. I like their new mask, their mask setup. You didn't see the highlight? I don't know if you saw the highlight. Dana, did you watch it?
Absolutely, all
right.
13 hours that week.
Those masks remind me. The first thing when I saw it was like there was a game, Army of Two. You guys remember Army of Two? And Army of Two, their big thing was like you can get all these masks for your characters. That's what it reminded me of. They had a cool mask. They had like the cool vest and stuff. It was like SWAT gear, but like painted up. It was cool. They had a cool little thing. So that came out. That was a great match. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't move them up. I really thought for sure I was going to see them on Raw or SmackDown. That didn't happen. But Sanity won. Sanity got the belt, and that's why I said in the last show they have to get a belt. If you're gonna have a group like that, somebody has to have a title. I was surprised by what they did with Eric Young, throwing him in there. Because I'm like, well, what was the reason? I still don't think they gave a reason. At the time, right, Dana, they didn't give a reason. They just said, well, the other dude wasn't tagged in yet, so any one of the members can then jump in. I was like, really? Because you guys work a lot about contracts and shit, and I'm sure in the contract it says the names of the two participants, because there's no way you could just say, you know what, Joe Schmo in the third aisle is Diesel. I want him to be my partner. Can't do that shit. But whatever. Eric Young jumped in, and he got a belt. So that was a good match. The Asuka, the Moon one, I think we all pretty much thought Moon was going to win that, right? Because Asuka was going to move up. But it happened. I was shocked. And I was like, the first thing I said, I was like, yo, she's going to come up as the champion. She's going to be their main undefeated. She's an instant Hall of Famer right now. She could go do porn, all kinds of fucked up shit. They could never take this away from her. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, she's golden. What is she? She's like 160-0? Right? There was some ridiculous number like that. And that means that's it. And they're moving you up and you vacated the title as champ. That's big right there. That is big. So I was surprised. Saw that. I'm like, okay. It is what it is. I think the same thing with Gargano. We didn't see that coming. We definitely thought something was going to happen with Gargano. I mean, the guy just came back from injury. Usually, I mean, based off of how the industry works, guy comes back from injury, you want to make him look strong. Like, yo, see, he's 100%, 110%, but he lost. So I'm like, okay, it is what it is. The Bobby match, we all knew that Drew was going to win. It's time for Bobby to move on. So I sort of phased in and out of that. I'm like, all right, whatever, it's all right. But Bobby moved up. So, but besides that, it was a solid show. I enjoyed it all. Good show.
Absolutely. Based on the highlights that I saw, I think.
Oh wait, sorry, I forgot the main one, the one that I like the most, Aleister Black.
Oh yeah.
Aleister Black came out with the band playing and stuff, and that just debunked the whole thing that I had before, where I always said, and I always believed it, that if a wrestler comes down to the ring and he has a live band playing or she has a live band, that person's winning. That's it. You know what I mean? Because you got the band for the night. They got to play twice, right? Play when you come out, play when you leave. And he did win. But the reason why I just to not jump too far ahead, but it's only because Shinsuke had his violinist play his song, come out, and he lost. So there goes that. But no, that Aleister Black, I'm telling you, man, that's money. That guy's instant money. He had a great match with Hideo, but I think it's just him. It's just Aleister. I think it's time for him to move up already. Move up, put him in the main roster. You know, they're gonna have to drop Finn Balor, put him back on NXT. You know,
No
I mean,
way.
I know it's sad. I'm just saying. I'm just thinking like Vince, and Vince likes big dudes. You know, big dudes that can move. That's a plus. You know, and it doesn't matter if you talk if you're a big dude for him. You know, and right now, a lot of the guys up top, they're all big dudes. They're all big dudes. You know, the little ones around. We see it with Dean, and we see it with Rollins, and of course we see it with Finn. You dance around toward the bottom, you know, maybe wave up a little bit. We'll throw you in super fuse, but you're never going to the top, you know. But whatever, that's jumping ahead. NXT, good show. I like that.
Yeah. And I just going to say that, I enjoyed what I did see of the highlights. I think for me, the biggest highlight, the biggest match was the Asuka match. I thought all the other matches were good, but yeah, as you said, we already knew that Roode was going to lose, so I wasn't surprised with that. I actually predicted that Johnny Gargano was going to lose on the last show, so
you did? All right, so you win that one. You know what? We got to start writing this shit down, so that way we have a little score chart so we can see it and we make a little game out of it, because that's right.
Yeah, we definitely need to do that.
Yeah, and I forgot the Red Dragon, and Adam Cole, O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Yeah, it wasn't really a match. I mean, they interfered and shit, but they showed up as the Ring of Honor. I think Dana's the one that found that out, that they were going to do some kind of Ring of Honor faction or something. And sure enough, they did. Now, I wonder if they're going to have a name, though. That's the thing. I wonder if they're going to have a name.
I guess we will find out on the NXT taping. I know there were spoilers out there. I didn't look at the spoilers, only the Asuka news. Which
I don't like looking. I don't like looking at the spoilers for the NXT tapings. That's my Wednesday special. You know, give me something to watch on Wednesdays. Let me watch it. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Dana. So, what did you like and dislike about NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3?
I'm going to say from head to toe, beginning to end, that entire show was it was perfect. And even the match, I would have to probably say the least, I'm not even going to call it worse, I'm going to just say the least, was McIntyre and Bobby Roode. It wasn't even bad. It was just a regular match. And you did have Adam Cole that came in and was a surprise appearance. So even that wasn't even bad. So I loved everything. And number one was Asuka and Ember Moon. And Asuka reminded me of, remember when they finally let women start wrestling again, and it was like the Divas Revolution, and they didn't have, to me it was Divas Revolution without putting any labels on it. It was like, yeah, women can wrestle. Look how badass we are. And that was just it. You didn't have to claim anything. You didn't have to have a title. You didn't have to go and make a long speech. You just wrestled. And I loved every moment of it. And of course, I was crushed when Asuka won. I was so invested in it. And I was so glued to the TV that to me is how you put on a match. Man, woman, chicken, dog, cat, whatever. That's how you wrestle. And that's how you entertain the crowd. And that the crowd was 1,000% in there. Mm-hmm. There was no shenanigans with that crowd because of how great that entire show was. And even when they had the music, the band was playing. That's not exactly my type of music that I listen to, but even that just made the show even more interesting. And it reminded me of back in the day. Remember when SmackDown, they used to invite random bands to play?
They even had a DJ. What's that? Yeah, WCW did DJs. That's right. But yeah, they used to have a band.
Yeah, they had that, and they used to have. Remember, Wyclef would come, and The Rock would perform with Wyclef. I just miss those days, and that's what it was to me. It was like nostalgic. It was entertainment. It was modern wrestling. It was the future. I loved it from head to toe. So there's no worse.
Yeah. Hey, that's some great thoughts on the overall event. Again, as I already said earlier, I haven't watched the event in its entirety, so I may go back and see it. I just haven't had the time because I just got back into town a few days ago. But
they watched the Author Insanity, that like double breaker thing, and all these different moves that they did. It was just everyone had such great chemistry.
Yeah, that's good. I'm definitely gonna check it out.
And almost died, so watch that as well.
Wait, who almost died?
Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross.
Oh, wait. When? What part? When she jumped?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm trying to remember that. Yeah, I guess.
You know. She was
Yeah.
like, but it was like, even that was just like, wow, you almost died. That was so entertaining, though. I liked it.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, so I gotta check that out. One last thing I will say before we move on to the favorite show that I'm sure everyone here loved, the SummerSlam. I am glad that they made the decision to have Asuka win because, again, to go out on top, I think that's good. I think a lot of us expected her to lose the match because we knew that she probably was going to get called up. So I appreciate them having her go out on top, still as champion. And we'll get into that discussion a little bit later about the whole relinquishing of the title. But NXT Takeover.
I'm sure. I mean, it's not like Bret Hart watched any of this shit, but I'm sure if he did watch, he'd be like, "Why couldn't they do that for me? Why couldn't they do that for me?" You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, they could have just had him win because he even said he wouldn't leave with the belt. The guy was loyal. You know what I mean? He was like, "Listen, I gotta go. It's money. I got kids. I got family. They're throwing a lot of money at me. You know, let me just win this match and I'll give you the belt the next night. You know, on Raw or whatever." Nope. You know, but Asuka shows up. You let her do it. I mean, granted, she's not leaving anywhere, but still, you don't know. You know what I mean? And you just made this person. She's a made woman right now. You know, 150, whatever it is, and you have the title, and you get to relinquish it. You are NXT history right there. I don't see anybody else topping that.
Maybe Triple H in his mature age is less petty. So.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. This is Triple H we're talking about. It's not Vince. Vince will probably, what the hell are you doing? Don't worry, you weren't watching this. Watch the other two shows. I got this. Go do you over there. This is my thing. So, but then that's the other thing I was thinking about the other day. I'm like, all right, so that's great. You have these guys, and then they move up. But then, I mean, Triple H is no longer in charge. I mean, he's not in charge of SmackDown or Raw. So here it is, you're grooming somebody, you're helping with creative, you're doing all that stuff to build this guy up or this woman up, and then they are now out of your hands, and then you see them just get dropped, or you don't see them going in the same direction in which you had portrayed them in going when they make it to the main roster. That must suck.
Oh, absolutely. I know that they had the discussions in the past about the Triple H being frustrated with how the NXT talent was being handled on the main roster. So, unfortunately, we know that this trend will continue as long as Vince is the one that's in charge. But I hope it doesn't. But it's going.
It was his birthday yesterday too. Yeah, happy birthday!
80th birthday, still alive and kicking and ruining lives and careers.
70
Yeah, well, we'll see. All right, so any final thoughts on NXT TakeOver before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, great show. Keep it up.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good show.
Awesome. Okay, so next up, we have to talk about what you guys liked and disliked about WWE SummerSlam 2017. Well, first and foremost, before I do that, let me ask the question. So can we all agree, even though I haven't seen it, can we all agree that TakeOver was better than SummerSlam, or do you think SummerSlam actually gave TakeOver a run for its money this time?
TakeOver was better. But then again, TakeOver is a shorter show, and I feel like TakeOver relies more on quality as opposed to quantity.
Mm-hmm.
SummerSlam is a total opposite. They're like, oh, look at all these matches. Look at us, 4 or 5 hours of wrestling. And then we're seeing weird squash matches like Randy Orton, just jobbing out Rusev, which sucked because that could have been a great match. And I don't understand, whether it's backstage politics or whatever it is, but it doesn't. If you're trying to prove a point to these wrestlers, fine. But what about to the paying customers? The people that are there that want to see this. I mean, you advertise it, you hype it, and then you squash it like this.
Well, Rusev wants out, so I don't think he cares anymore. And you could clearly see that by watching SummerSlam.
I don't know, but then they said that wasn't true. about the Rusev thing that he didn't want out, and they don't know where that came from, and it's a nasty rumor that he doesn't want out, But
He's
I
been
mean,
arrested. He's dead.
it
So
just it just looks bad. I mean, yeah, I mean, for anyone watching, you would think he would want out. I mean, logically, look at this. I mean, he's losing these matches, and he's just not doing that. I mean, people are like, oh well, they do give him good match. He's sort of having a 50-50 if you think about it, because he had that Gable match, that little mini feud or whatever on SmackDown, and they had some decent matches. They did that in between him losing to Cena and Randy Orton. So we'll have to see. But oh man, it just was. I mean, whose decision was it for the Hardy Boys to go on the pre-show, and then for the people that were there, they couldn't get in the building, so there was like almost no one there to see that match. So.
I think that right there should be a clear sign to them, Vince, and everyone that, okay, maybe we have too many matches on this card if we can't fit them all on the actual card. Because the Hardy Boys should have been on. They should not have been on the pre-show at all. I mean, these guys. This is a big deal. A lot of fans love the Hardy Boys still, so I'm very confused.
I think the only thing that, in my mind, that I could see that if I was in their spot was, remember they were doing the feud with the Revival, and then the guy got hurt, and they're like, all right, people still want to see the Hardy Boys. We don't want to really throw them into something. We don't have anything for you right now. So let's just make this quick match, so that way the people get the Hardy Boys. But the downfall of that was putting it on that pre-show. And I guess maybe it was like, this was really just supposed to be for the live crowd, because they're like, well, we're not going to really build a feud with these dudes and this whole thing that they're fighting with. So, we're still going to wait for the Revival, whatever. But, man, they could have really fixed that up. They could have I thought, if anything, they could have had Authors of Pain come up. That would have been the great. It was like, all right, because the Revivals were the heels. And it was like, all right, we'll have these guys are heels and bring them up. And they can work. They're great together, these guys. So but that didn't happen, and it sucked for the people there because then the issues of trying to get in the building. So even though a match that was just done for the people there, they didn't even get to see it. So
yeah, I agree. This unfortunate. Okay, so yeah, you can go ahead since you've already spoken about a few things that you didn't like. What else? Tell us what else you didn't like, and if there was anything that you actually liked about the show.
I like the main event. The main event was great. I like the fact that that Brock was willing to work with Braun Strowman. You know what I mean? Like, that's serious business right there. And people understand. It's like, well, it's wrestling. No, I was like, this is a big grown man telling another grown man, go ahead, pick me up like a child and power slam me through 2 tables. I trust you. And that's what he did. He trusted this man to do that. That's a lot. I don't know if I would trust anybody to do that with me. But he gave him the trust, and it worked out, and he sold it. And that tells me that even though, Brock's like, yeah, I do everything for a paycheck and stuff, he still has certain people that he likes to work with, some people he respects. I mean, we heard when Dean was talking, Dean Ambrose, on the Austin fake podcast, whatever that's on the network. If it's live like that, it's not a podcast, man. That was an interview, but whatever. When he did the interview, and he said, oh, Brock doesn't want to talk or work anything out. He doesn't give a shit. Remember? He said, I don't like working with him. That was horrible. Well, I'm sure it's not the case with everybody for Brock. And it was the case, and then we heard that he likes Samoa Joe, and he enjoyed working with Samoa Joe too. You know what I mean? So if he likes you, he'll put on a good match. He used to do some great matches before he left. We all know the matches and interviews that he had with Kurt Angle and stuff. He can go. He can sell. He can take bumps and instead of just doing suplexes.
And he has personality.
Yeah, and he has personality. And the fact that the person that he beat was Roman Reigns, I think that was a nod to the fans. It was like, you know what? The company still sees him as the number 1 guy, but we're proving something to you guys is that we can have him job out in big matches like that, and he'll still be our number 1 guy. And I think that's what they were telling us. So it's a win-win for everyone. The people cheered to holy hell because it was, Roman that got pinned, got caught. And then the people in the back were like, see, it works because we still like him. The company still likes him. So they don't care, So everybody gets what they want. And it was a good match. I enjoyed that match. So was a high point for me.
Sounds good. All right, I do have some thoughts on SummerSlam, positive and negative, but I'm gonna let Dana go first. Let us know what you liked and disliked about the event.
I thought that it was very uneven. I don't understand why the pre-show. Why the heck did the show start at 5:30? I will never understand. That was just disrespectful to people's schedules. But I thought it was very uneven. I did not like the pre-shows. I thought were rather decent, but they should have started much later. The Randy Orton and the Rusev match was probably the worst. The thing was like, what, 2 seconds long?
Yeah, they said under a minute of actual, because remember they were fighting outside, but when they rang the bell, it was like under a minute.
I don't understand what the whole purpose of it was. Like, it was just, I don't get it. I don't understand. So that was terrible. Here's the crazy thing. I kind of like the Miz Taraj, but the match itself with Jason Jordan, I don't understand what they're trying to do with him, and I honestly expected a little bit more from him, especially given that they gave him such a big push, and he's supposed to be, Kurt Angle's son now, and he has a whole storyline revolved around him. But it was just it was boring. I mean, the Miz was great, and the Revivals was all. I mean, it just wasn't good. It was just mediocre. Again, someone please, for the love of me, there's a lot of different matches that I think is tying for worse, but I think the one that might have it edged out a little bit more than everything else is the Big Show and the Big Cass one with Enzo just hanging up there in the cage with like butter as he's trying to like squeeze himself out through the bars.
Yeah, that was pointless. I just don't. I mean, again, this is more of the behind the scenes. This was just. He was put in there to humiliate him because it made no sense to have the babyface up in the cage. I mean.
But I didn't understand. Even if you're trying to humiliate somebody, that just wasn't even a humiliation. That was just stupid.
Yeah.
Like that at that moment, I was like, I could just walk away and not pay any attention to this. I zoned out. So you're gonna have to do better with some type of humiliation, because that's just like, I don't know. Is that supposed to be like a Vince McMahon's version of humiliation? Having a guy hanging in a cage with butter?
And I think he, man, I don't know. A lot of people are like, oh, he's got all this heat. They don't like. I mean, but if you guys know, I mean, he's at 205 now, and they put him right up with Neville. You know what I mean? After Neville won, and he starts giving his little promo, and then Enzo comes out, the crowd goes nuts. You would think, like, I don't know, Goldberg or somebody came out. They were like, oh my God, look who's here. They show people's faces, and they were just melting in shock. Oh, I don't get it. So he comes down, he does the stupid chicken dance and stuff, and he starts saying, I'm here at 205, the whole thing. And then Neville is priceless. I'm surprised no one made a meme. He gives a look to the crowd and he gives a look at Enzo, and I felt like I could see in his mind, like he's saying, is this what's gonna happen in my career? Am I gonna have to work with people like this now? You know what I mean? And he drops the mic and he walks out. And it's just, people could say, oh yeah, he's getting all this heat and now he's getting demotion. This is like the closest he's ever gonna come to a belt, a title. You know what I mean? He was never going to get like the U.S. He's never going to get the Universal Champion, maybe the Tag Champion or whatever. But as an independent, as a solo wrestler, no, this was it. So if anything, this is a promotion. This is a step up, because if they really didn't give a shit about him, he wouldn't have come out during Neville's, promo or right at the end. He would have just popped up on the show and just started at the bottom. You know what I mean? They could have had them do something like that and start jobbing out to everybody. But that's not the case here, So I think if anything, he just got promoted. I don't know if he'll win the title, but I have a feeling they will give him the title because he sells merch. He sells merch. He's up in the top 5. I think he was like number 3 or some ridiculousness. People buy his shit. So if they're thinking money, and if the viewership goes up, because it hasn't, 205 has not been in the top 10 on the WWE network, and I don't know how long. I think since they did the Cruiserweight Championship, people don't watch, and it's not a knock on the wrestlers. It's a knock on the lack of the wrestlers, because they had Zack Sabre Jr. that was part of that tournament, and then people thought he signed with them. He did not sign with them. He was only there for that tournament. They had Tajiri. Everybody was like, oh, Tajiri's back. Tajiri got hurt, comes back, gets hurt. Then they're like, you know what? No thanks. They cut him. You know what I mean? There was a few other guys, same thing. People were like, oh, from Japan. And those guys were like, no, we're just here for the tournament, man. You know, so they sort of took a knock on that because a lot of the star tracks, because you still need stars on the team. You know what I mean? It's just like anything. You watch a sport team, you have a bunch of great players, but you need some shining stars that people want to see and know. You know, you can't rely on Brian Kendrick. You know, there's only so much. I mean, granted, he was there before, but he was never a big star. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, so I think Enzo will be that star. I think people will just want to tune in. Can he wrestle with them? No. Can he hang with those guys on 205? No. But he can talk, and he'll shoot some pretty good promos against them and do his chicken dance, you know? And I think he'll get the belt in some sneaky way, you know? And that's it. And they'll see if the numbers, but I'm telling you, if the numbers go up, he'll hold that belt. He'll be the John Cena 205, you know, if the numbers go up. You know, this could have been a blessing for him. So, I don't know. But that's that, yeah, for them, just to have it go back to link to that SummerSlam, that whole thing was pointless. You know, it was stupid. It was stupid. You know, and
it was pointless. Yep.
Yeah, Dana.
There are a few of those. So,
no.
Wait, even the John Cena one. What's his name?
Yeah, the John Cena one too. And I'm like, it was just, for me, it was weird at first to see John Cena in a match that started so early. So.
Did you hear that clip? Somebody found it. They recorded. You could hear him saying some like shit to Corbin, saying, "See, it's not all about you. It's not all something like that."
Yeah, what happened was he was cheering, and he was really happy, and the audience was really into it. And you can hear him start yelling at him. It's not all about you. See, look, it's not all about you. And he really does have heat with Baron Corbin, and so they did that punishment match that no one really cared about because I don't think anyone cares about Corbin. And that was entertaining. And the Naomi and Natalie match was, I am very happy that Natty won. Mm-hmm. I'm very, very happy. I think that she should have won a long time ago. She has been with this company and she has had to deal with everyone else's BS and see people like the Bellas who cannot wrestle for like dear life win titles, and she has not done anything. So I'm very happy with WWE doing this. I would like them to please do this for Tamina. Thank you, please, because she can wrestle, or just do something with her.
Well, she's being trained now by what's her name?
Good.
No, the one that's in the story. What's her name? Rusev's wife, Lana. Lana's giving her guidance. I'm like, out of all people, this makes no sense. I mean, really? You're gonna take guidance advice and career advice from Lana? Oh man. Whatever works.
I think Lana went back to her Russian managerial role. So I don't think she's like they're making her a wrestler anymore because she was awful. Yeah. So I think they just put her back in like the buns and the come and let me be your manager type role thing. So I'm okay with that because that was like the only reason why anyone paid attention to her. Not because it was like, oh gosh, why doesn't she wrestle? It was like, oh no, you look great in a bun and your accent and you're a great manager and put on a skirt.
I'm going to miss that glowing belt that Naomi had. She had that for like a week. What happened? You know what I mean? They put all that work into that belt and it's gone.
Well, it was nice to see that she's still glowing even without the belt. Because I wondered, will she still be, will she have the glow?
Yeah, she's going to have the glow. And that's going to be in the game. I want to make a little Raver boy. That's what I want to make. Put a guy there, like doing all that. I think that'd be funny. But yeah, no. That was her gimmick even before the belt,
Yeah. So it was good. I mean, this Shinsuke match was bland, and Shinsuke should have won that one, but he didn't. And I thought that was really stupid that he didn't. So
I'm just getting tired of having the Singh brothers constantly interfere. Like, if you're a heel, I understand you cheat and stuff, but then cheat. Let's see you cheat. Do some hit the ref, do something. Right now it's like these guys are saving his ass. They're making him look weaker every time they do it. It's
I'm
like,
just wondering, are they going to do this India thing? Because I'm getting tired of it.
well, that's coming in September, so
Oh God.
we'll see what happens.
So, like,
But
maybe they'll get their act together and we can go back to, him jobbing.
oh, no, that's never gonna happen. It's no, that's it. He's here until something bad happens with the steroids, because they put in so much time and money in his gimmick, and it's working. I mean, you saw. I don't know if they saw. Did they show it? I think on SmackDown they did show it. Some like highlight reels of like the media over in India, and their response to this, and it's through the roof. People love it. And they were showing numbers from the WWE Network over there are jumping, and I mean, it's bringing money. It's bringing in a large market to their product. So as long as that's flowing, he's going to stay on top. It's the Hulk Hogan effect, So it's like, hey, was he special? Not really. I mean, he did a leg drop, but still, he fit that need, and people love the vitamins and the muscles and the prayers, and it worked. So
but the thing with gender, it only works with, like, no offense, but it's only working with Indian, with those people, like people in India.
And people here, I mean, he's a man of color still, and some people see that as like, wow, he does stand out. You know what I mean? He stands out. So it's like, what got me mad? This is what gets me mad with this. It's that how WWE plays this as he's supposed to be a villain because of his nationality. That's the part that pisses me off. Yeah, you can have him as a bad guy, but when you start doing cheesy gimmicks, like when they said, all right, I want to start celebrating India and we're going to sing the national anthem, you're doing that because people are going to boo, and that's fucked up. Shouldn't do that.
At least they're improving with their more racist segments. They're improving.
Well, yeah, I mean, Rusev is no longer coming out with a big Putin picture and waving the flag and doing that whole thing. So,
and we don't have any more of, like, remember back in the day, there was that wrestler Slick something who had the fried chicken song.
Fried chicken song.
I have got to show you the video. It's one of the wrestlers from back in the 80s, and they had this man legit singing about fried chicken.
That's pretty bad.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It was really bad, and it was like just mind. And at least we don't have anyone coming out in blackface. I'm pretty sure we all remember that.
Yeah. So I guess I just don't.
So we're getting there, slow progression.
It's just cheap heat, that they're trying to get on him, with the whole. I'm from India and the whole thing. I don't like that. He could just be a bad guy. You know what I mean? Why can't he just be a bad guy? Whatever.
Yeah, that would be nice. I don't understand why they have to put ethnicity in it. And the wrestler's guy name was Slick.
Slick?
It was Kenneth Johnson.
Look that up.
Interesting.
Yeah, Kenneth Johnson did like this huge, like, they had this segment about him being a pimp daddy thing, and he had like chicken. It was the Jive Soul Bro.
The Jive Soul Bro.
Yes, Jive Soul. Yep, and he was singing about fried chicken.
Once I hear that, what you just said, I just popped the image of Dave Chappelle when he did his sketch about, like, when he went into a restaurant and he's looking at the menu, and then the guy's like, wait, I know what you want. He's like, what do I want? You want chicken. He's like, oh, really? Yep, you guys love chicken. So it's like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, damn, I didn't know that.
But it wasn't just chicken. It was like every black stereotype in the world was in that song.
Oh,
and he was singing, he was in the hood, passing around like the pimps and the prostitutes. So, yeah. But we're improving. So, yay.
We'll see about that.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
No. When they decide to turn Shinsuke into a heel and he says, Pearl Harbor, I hate you, then we know shit has gone. off the edge, you know. And we know.
Oh god. Yeah. Yes. But back to the thing, it was a good pay-per-view. My best one, my highlight thing was when Finn Balor was wrestling Bray Wyatt, for the simple fact that for me, that whole opening sequence when they did the remix to the whole world, and him coming out with the demon thing, and he actually had a smile on, and it looked like the old Finn Balor returned, because he's been pretty miserable lately. So just that whole sequence of events, it made my heart smile. The match itself was okay, but it made my heart smile to see him, with the face paint on, and him with that demon look, and him having that little smile returned again. He was a little happy. So, and he performed. To me, he performed a little bit better, and he was lighter in his moves, and the match flowed, even though it wasn't like a standout. But it worked for me.
And then the next night, remember, Jason Jordan, he wound up beating him clean.
Yeah. I don't understand what they're trying to do here with this
that I didn't really understand, because I'm like, all right, so Jason Jordan, you're pushing him, and then he comes out and he just loses. First, he gets to call out someone like Finn Balor.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So that's the other thing. And they're like, oh, there's no favoritism. I'm like, if you're going through storyline, then that is favoritism. Your son just called out one of the, supposed top guys, and you just said, okay, do it. And he lost. He got squashed. So I don't know where they're going with this.
I don't either, but I was happy to see. I don't know where they're going with the whole Ambrose and Rollins as the tag team now.
I don't understand. Going.
But, more power to them. I'll wait and see, but I'm kind of confused at this point. I don't understand the purpose of them even being together. And it was the Universal, the four-way match. You knew that Brock was going to win, but at the same time, you hoped he didn't. And for me, I kept watching just to hope that he didn't. But the fact that everyone really gave their heart out there and tried to kill each other made it a very good match for me. I like that. And wasn't there another title change as well?
They had AJ. No, AJ. He retained.
Yeah, he retained. Then my whole thing, that was a really big missed opportunity to be a great match. Even if you add Shane in it, and even if he wanted to die, let him have his moment where he wanted to die and wrestle someone. But they really didn't even do that. It was purposeless for me.
I didn't like Shane's reaction throughout the whole match. He wanted to be part of the show. You saw him, he was shadow boxing when they were fighting. He's moving his hands and stuff. I'm like, by doing that, you're drawing attention to you. You know what I mean? The eyes are now reverting to you as opposed to the action. You're just as bad as the damn volleyballs. The damn beach balls. So just stop it. I couldn't understand why he kept doing all that movement with his hands and moving around and stuff. I'm like, just call the damn match.
I didn't understand either. It was very distracting. There really wasn't any point. And I was just waiting for something to happen. But nothing really happened. Yeah. It was unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. And then they had the was it Bella? Not Bella. Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss.
That was a decent match.
It was decent. I mean, I wasn't like, oh my God, but it was, it was decent. I'm tired of seeing them together at this point. I'm tired of seeing Sasha more than anything.
They really need to speed up this Mae Young Classic and get some of those girls up in there, because they got some quality in that Mae Young tournament. So, and I know that they already had spoiled it by accident or something. They already said some of the people that were signed.
Well, you knew that, a majority, if not all, was going to be signed anyway.
Yeah, we knew. We knew. Oh, what's her name? I was surprised when I watched that little special they did, and I sort of recognized one of them. I was like, I don't know. She's older. I don't know her. And it was a girl from the Straight Edge. Remember when CM Punk had the Straight Edge Society?
I thought that was so ironic.
And they shaved her head, and I was like, oh, shoot, she's in this. All right, that's right. I forgot. I thought she quit, and it turns out they let her go because of drinking and all this, which I found ironic since she was part of a straight edge group. But whatever. So yeah, but she was there, so I'm like, all right, that's cool, and they had some other good quality wrestlers in there, so I'm like, this could work.
Yeah, no, I was like, I'm really looking forward to this tournament more than anything. I think that was the best part of the whole SummerSlam week, was just seeing that special.
Yeah. And then what we're getting, it's almost like a binge watch. 4 episodes are dropping on Monday.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I'm looking forward to that. Yay, female power.
Should be good.
And they're good. Do you know if Shayna got signed? Do you know if Shayna got signed?
Shayna?
Yeah. Ronda's girl.
Oh, they signed her?
I believe.
That would be quick. I mean, I know that Ronda's there, and I know that she signed. She has Brian Kendrick training her over at the Performance Center. So I didn't know they signed Shayna right away, though.
It was like a 2 deal. Not real? No?
I don't know. That would have been quick. But we'll see. I mean, that's the thing. I haven't really seen her work in wrestling. I've seen her MMA stuff, but I haven't seen her work in wrestling. So I don't know if she made that smooth transition. I mean, yeah, the grappling stuff, all that could be definitely worked in, it's an easy transition. But when it comes to the strikes and stuff, I mean, we've seen people from MMA come over and they've caused damage. Hell, even Shinsuke with his strong style is breaking, eye sockets and stuff. It's kind of hard to make that transition to go a little, softer, and not go all out. Oh man, do you remember when Ken Shamrock? Who is it? It was again Bob Holly. Was it Bob Holly that he just went to town? He ground and pound him and like busted his nose and all this stuff during the match. God damn.
What's Shamrock?
I think it was Bob Holly. I'm trying to think when Ken Shamrock showed up. It was somebody, and he said the guy started hitting him and talking smack, trying to get stiff, and he was like, well, I'm not having it. And Ken Shamrock just went to town on him. But then I know Bob Holly had a bad attitude, and he did that with Brock, too. He didn't want to help Brock when it came to doing power slams and stuff, so then Brock just deadlifted him and then dropped him on his head and broke his neck.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and then that went to the back, and Brock didn't get in trouble at all because they were like, yo, it's a two-man thing. When you do a power bomb and stuff, the person has to kick up, help. He didn't want to help at all. He wanted to just, make Brock just put him down and look weak. Brock wasn't having it. He just picked him up and then dropped him on his head.
Sheesh.
He talked about it. Bob Holly talked about it in his book. And he was like, well, I wasn't always a bad guy, and he said, no, you were a prick. Everybody said you were a prick. You know what I mean? You and JBL.
Didn't he attack JBL because he's tried to bully him?
Well, that was the thing, and then eventually they turned out to both be bullies. So it's like a bully and a bully. So.
And I know Steve Blackman also killed JBL as well.
Yeah, he knocked him. Oh, I'm talking about all these crazy crossovers. I just found out, and I didn't even know this. Mauro Ranello's calling that Mayweather fight.
Yes, I just found out today. I'm so excited.
Like, holy I mean, how did it? And I was like, well, I know WWE wasn't going to advertise it. There's nothing connecting them to it. But man, I'm like, that's a big money gig right there.
Oh yeah, that was why they brought him back. They knew about that. That news was out there for a while.
Well, Mauro's solid. That guy is solid. He can call wrestling, MMA. I'm sure he can call rodeo. He could do anything. He is so good.
Just don't drop any hip hop references, and we'll be good.
I remember when he used to call Kimbo's fights. When they had that Elite FC or whatever. Kimbo Slice! Oh, I was like, oh, man, you're selling this. Oh. Kimbo looks strong. You can do it. Yep. Oh, man. But, yeah, overall, I think we could all agree. It was underwhelming, SummerSlam.
It's like a 5, it was a 2.
Yeah. And it's sad because they have the talent. And it's the booking and it's just the writing. I mean, it is a show. Put the show back into it. Don't start doing these weird squash matches and stuff to prove a point to the wrestlers. And it impacts the product for the viewers. So if you're gonna teach them a lesson backstage. Have them carry bags, do something, but don't put it out there when everyone's hyped to see a match and then it just gets squashed.
Yeah, and to me, it's like this. SummerSlam is one of the big four.
Mm-hmm.
Don't screw up the big four. You can screw up every other pay-per-view, but these four. Yeah. And so I don't understand why they would purposely do that.
Yeah, we would never see something like that happen at a WrestleMania. They wouldn't do that.
No.
Oh, every
match is supposed to count. Every match is supposed to count, at least on the main card.
WrestleMania. There have been some pretty crappy WrestleManias that are for years.
But I don't think there's ever been a squash match.
There have been matches.
Yeah, there has. Daniel Bryan lost his title to Sheamus in seconds.
At WrestleMania? That was a Mania?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's possible. I wanted to say a few quick things about SummerSlam before we move on to the next topic. First and foremost, I do want to say that the main event I feel was the only real reason to watch SummerSlam. And even when I saw the main event, wasn't happy with the outcome. Knew that Brock was going to win because they had this whole thing where it says, well, if Brock loses, he's going to leave WWE. Obviously, WWE is not in a position to just let him leave just yet.
He's not going anywhere now. You think John Jones failed that drug test?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Oh, yeah. He's not going nowhere, and Brock is not exactly cleared with UFC either.
Yeah, so they're too dirty. Well, you know what? Then they can still have a fight, non-sanctioned, have it in the backyard or something. That's right. They're both roided out and watch this match
until 2020.
What? He started crying?
No, I said he's still signed until 2020.
That's not good.
Who signed?
Brock.
Oh, Brock. Yeah, no, he's still signed, but they were going to let him go just to do the match like they did with the Hunt fight.
Yeah.
They still let him go. I didn't think they were going to just cut him, and that's easy money for him. He's not going to give up what he has with WWE just for one fight. You know what I mean?
Oh.
But, man, this whole thing, this tarnishes. I mean, even Dana White said it. He was like, he's pretty much done. I mean, you can't. Yeah. No one's ever going to respect him.
That's right.
His credibility is shot now.
That's it. That's it for him. But no. I wasn't happy with the result of Brock winning because now, to me, with the way it ended and the fact that Reigns got pinned, Ricky and I had a conversation about this as we saw it live. All that means that now you're going to get Reigns versus Brock again at WrestleMania, and Reigns will win at that moment in time and hold the title. So I know that Paul Heyman campaigned to try and get Samoa Joe the victory, but obviously that didn't happen. But I know we are going to get Strowman versus Lesnar at the next pay-per-view on Raw, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that still was a good match, even though I wasn't happy with the outcome. Wasn't happy to see Shinsuke lose either, because, yes, it's all about the India deal with WWE right now. It's all about that money, so we'll see what happens. I still don't think Jinder will hold that title for too much longer because they have a lot of talent in SmackDown that is more deserving of actually holding that belt. So eventually, when you get to WrestleMania time, there's no way Jinder will still be champion. Not when you have AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Bobby Roode on the same card. I don't see how that's.
What? You don't think he's gonna break Asuka's record of 150 or 60 wins and defenses? Come on, now this is Jinder. Ooh, the Maharaja.
Yeah, the Maharaja.
Oh,
Nah, man. This has to wear off sooner or later. We'll see what happens. And the one last thing I will say about why I was disappointed with SmackDown, again, like I said, a lot of matches, not really. I meant to say SummerSlam. A lot of matches, not really necessary. Not having Hardys in the actual show, but the pre-show was a little ridiculous. I understand the stuff that y'all already said with the storyline and the fact that the Revival wasn't there. That's fine, but people who actually paid to come to SummerSlam, I'm pretty sure they wanted to see the Hardys. So if they didn't get there early, they didn't see them at all, and that's unfortunate. Plus the fact that you had Corbin and Rusev lose. And it's funny because the whole storyline of SmackDown is just the land of opportunity. but it's the same thing happening. These guys jobbing once again on this roster. So I just don't get it. We'll see what happens, but I think pretty much straight away, I think that the main event was the highlight of SummerSlam. Everything else is just all right. I'm glad Finn Balor won, but I knew he was going to win because the Demon gimmick. You're not going to have the Demon return and lose the match. No. So
unless, the Wyatt family get back together and do something, which that'll never happen. Well, I can't say never happen. I think eventually it will happen.
Oh, yeah.
Not anytime soon. But
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it will happen, too, eventually when they figure out what they're going to do with Luke Harper and Rowan.
what's up with Harper? Is he injured? Because he's been MIA. I don't know what happened to Harper.
I think the writers, I think they have just decided not to use him, I guess. I mean, I don't know, because they have so many people they have to focus on now. A lot of people, sometimes they don't even bother using, even though they call them up.
The only one who's injured is Big Cass.
Oh, yes, and I'm glad that you brought that up. We should talk about these two things also real quick.
Because that's Rich's favorite wrestler, so he.
No. Definitely not. But yeah, big Cass injury. I believe he's out for 9 months.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, it is a long. They said several months. I don't know if that timeline has changed. The last I heard, though, they said it's going to be maybe close to 9 months. So
maybe they're exaggerating that, like they did with Braun, just so that way when he comes back sooner, they're like, "You see how strong he is? His body just healed up. He's like a cyborg."
That's true. Hey, listen, that is a possibility. That in all seriousness, that is a possibility that they could be lying about that.
You know what? His sad part, he won't be missed. That's the sad part.
Oh, you don't think so? I thought you were looking forward to seeing him beat up Enzo some more.
Well, he can't because Enzo's on 205. So unless Kaz loses a lot of weight, he's not going to ever meet him again in the ring. So I don't think. And remember, we talked about this before. I think Kaz needed Enzo more than Enzo needed Kaz. And it's that big man thing, okay, but he can't talk on the mic, and he's still kind of green in the ring. It's not that entertaining. Enzo, horrible wrestling, but he's great on the mic, and people love him. So got to go where the people are because that's where the money is. So Enzo wins on that. So Kaz could beat him every night of the week. It don't matter. He's not beating him to the bank. Oh,
that's true. Oh, you're right. But yeah, just to confirm that, yeah, it's a torn ACL, requires surgery. So they're saying the estimated time is about 9 months. So I don't know what's going to happen. One thing I will say is, judging by what happened to Finn Balor when he got injured and how he has been treated since he's returned, I wonder if Big Cass's position is going to be messed with. I don't know because he's a big guy and Vince likes big guys, so he may just say, well, whatever.
He's fighting Big Show for like what, two pay-per-views by now?
Yeah.
But he's gonna come back and fight Big Show again?
I don't know.
Well, think about it. I mean, even if it's not 9 months, let's say it's 6 months. That's half a year still. I mean, a lot can happen. We see things flip-flop nonstop. You know what I mean? It's like, so who knows what the universe is gonna look like when he's ready to go? Who knows?
Yeah. I'm also curious to see what the repercussions will be as a result of this. I don't know. Obviously, my assumption is that Vince eventually is going to move people again between both brands, and I'm thinking now because of that injury, they may say, well, we need to keep more talent on Raw, so we're not going to send other people over to SmackDown. I mean, I don't know how that's going to work out, but there's definitely going to be some type of repercussions.
Well, I mean, he wasn't really doing much. It sort of looked like he finished his feud with Big Show at that match. He knocked him out and got him done, and it was over. So, I mean, okay. So it looks like that feud was done.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they had planned for him after that, but if it was just another big man role, there's plenty of other big men you could give that to. I mean, I heard some other shit that they plan on making Bobby Roode a babyface. That they don't plan on making him a heel, because there's a lot of heels on SmackDown. So anything could happen. You know what I mean? Anything can happen. So I have a feeling that if they need another big man, there's plenty of big men they have. Could always, bump somebody up and do that. But I don't know. If anything, I'm sure some writers in the back are like, all right, great. One less person to try to work or worry about. Scratch him off.
Yeah. Or maybe they'll bring them back together, Enzo and Cass, like they did the Shield minus Roman.
That will be if Enzo is still with the company by the time the cash returns.
They won't get rid of him.
No, he's a money man. The day that he can't sell any more merch is the day that he leaves. But the fact that he can sell merch and do all this stuff, and if this works for 205, if the ratings go up because he's on it, that's it. He's golden.
The only reason why I don't think they will give him that belt is because Vince already blew his load of letting Neville lose that belt to Tozawa for no reason, just to generate buzz for SummerSlam. So I don't think they're gonna have Neville lose the belt again that fast. But anything could happen. Again, we've already seen that with Jinder Mahal. When it's about business and making money, they will do whatever they need to do. So if Enzo does get over 205 Live, then yeah, anything can happen, like you said. We'll see what happens. And the other quick thing I wanted to mention before we move on, Dana wanted to talk about the fact that they have now canceled. Well, they have banned the beach balls from now being inside the arenas. What's going on with that?
Okay, I need to breathe for a moment. Here's my issue. None of this would have, this is something that always occurs. Fans have fun. And, you pay your money to still see the show. At the end of the day, you're still getting your money. At the end of the day, people are still going to watch the show. At the end of the day, people even at home are going to watch the show, even if you do have beach balls flying around. But how dare you? And it's not just beach balls, what I found out. It's anything that's inflatable.
Mm-hmm.
There you have it.
Well, they said they were even upset when people were doing the wave. But I remember a few times they glorified that. And one time Daniel Bryan was having a match and people were doing the wave. And they zoomed out to show that they were doing the wave.
Yeah. So good luck with telling people that they can't. You take away their beach balls and you're saying that they're distracting. Good luck with getting them to stop chanting. And you have live shows now. You can't, Smackdown this whole thing and take the chanting out. This whole thing is live, so you can still chant, you can still wave, you can still curse out the wrestlers. And so good luck with your little beach balls, but they're going to find a way to be even more distracting now. My thing is this. If you put on a decent show, then you wouldn't have to worry about this. This is because fans, they're bored out of their mind because the product has really been suffering. During that whole NXT situation, when you watched Brooklyn Takeover 3, I didn't see one ball in the air.
None of that.
And that's none, because everybody was invested in the matches because their matches were actually good. They were at least watchable. You watch SummerSlam and you have less than a minute squash match. I'm not going to pay attention to that. I don't give a flying fart about Baron Corbin. I don't care about, all these other storylines that you have going on. And clearly you don't either because you're writing these storylines. So let people have fun with their beach balls or whatever it is, their poodle noodles, that they had noodles in there with the thing as well. So you take that away. Good luck, because that's going to just anger the people even more. So I just find it really interesting that you can have that, but at the end of the day, you can't even fire JBL for all the bullying and stuff that he does, or that whole Pat Patterson situation and all the situation with the little male wrestlers. So good luck. Yeah. I don't understand. I will never understand.
It's their own fault with it because they try to play both sides. When the WWE guys, when the wrestlers come out and they start doing their promos, and they start responding to the fans. Oh, do you hear what they're saying? Oh, say it again, and they want them, and they're feeding that. So, of course, now you're saying, oh, so I'm part of the show? Okay, now that I know I'm part of the show, let me tell you some other shit that I'm feeling. And that's when you start getting the crazy chants. And when they're like all upset about it and they have to tone it down or do some other audio enhancements during a live show and they're pissed that people are saying these things, like, stop adding them in the show then. I remember back in the day, a heel or someone come out and just say, shut up. He never said, oh, what do you think? And start talking back and forth like some of these guys are doing. When they start leading them in, oh, say this, say that. And they said, you're telling these people it's okay to talk back. You know what I mean? And then when they're saying things and you don't like it, you can't take it back. That's it. You open that door.
Right. And this was something from the 90s. I clearly remember DX going in the audience and having crowd interactions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Walking up to people, what do you think? And what are you doing? And, and everybody would go, suck it. And the kids would go, suck it. And the women would go and flash themselves on TV. So now all of a sudden, crowd interaction just because, you're getting your feelings hurt or nobody's paying attention to the match. I don't understand. You can't have both ways.
You can't. And then when they start getting upset that people reading stuff on the dirt sheet and trying to find things out, these people can't believe anything on the internet. So, but then they start releasing stuff and then they start bringing it up, during the live show. Oh, about John Jones calling out Brock and this and this and that. You're feeding into the same bullshit you're telling people not to follow.
Right. And then you go have the show with, what was it? JBL. I forgot, something talk or whatever it is.
Bring it to that table doing all that bullshit.
You're burying your own product. You're burying your own wrestlers, but then you get mad because the crowd doesn't give them that same respect that you want, even though you just did a show where you buried them. I'm not comprehending. I don't understand.
That's the thing. They're trying to play both sides. They're trying to play both sides, and it's not working because they have to understand. That's it. You can't control it now. If you opened it up, you can't do it. If they want to change it, have no more interaction with the crowd. Just come out there, do your max, say your stuff on the mic, tell everybody shut up, and then just do it. Don't go back and forth and ask questions and then say, oh, you hear them?
Right. And don't even have the commentary be about the crowd. If whatever they chant, let them chant. If they want to wave, let them wave, but don't be like, oh, look, they're doing the wave. Don't pay them any attention.
Because when it's something that they like, they'll point it out. Oh, do you hear the fans? This is awesome. That's right, fans. But when they're saying this shit's boring, that's right. These guys are right. This match is boring. No, they're not doing that. They are not doing that. You know what I mean? And they're getting annoyed and upset about it. I'm like, what do you expect? Do you really think you produce 100% product? I know they don't.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like these people have grown up watching this product. It's like you can't keep saying, oh, we're catering to the younger audience. Who's bringing this younger audience to the shows? These kids are not going by their damn self. Right. And oh my God, we just got hacked. Somebody said, oh my Lord.
And also, remember back in about a couple years ago, because they had to change the whole rules, the commentators was told when matches were going on, wasn't even talking about the match.
Yeah.
They were talking about what they did that day or how much they love some random show.
Yeah, speaking about talking bad, Dana, we can't talk bad about Ricardo. He's here, all right? So we just got to change it. Ricardo's here. Hey, what's up?
Yes, Ricardo is here. How's it going, man?
I'm going good. Hold on, I just have to connect my earphones.
Yeah, no problem.
1 second, I'm having a little trouble here.
But yeah,
you're blocking the as well.
Let's see.
Well, that's okay. The belt can be blocked for tonight.
It just upsets me that
it's hiding behind my big head there.
It just upsets me that they keep making it seem like, oh, the crowd is being disrespectful. The crowd is this and this and that. It's bizarre land. It's like, no, it's like they're just voicing their opinion because you have given them the option to do so. You've encouraged it.
And you disrespect your own product. So
that's it. Yeah.
Thing as well.
Exactly. There you go.
That's right. So, yeah, we definitely wanted to talk about that. We will, Ricky. We will get your likes and dislikes of SummerSlam and NXT Takeover. You let me know when you're ready, though.
Okay.
We need to talk. I don't know if you guys have anything else to say about the news of Asuka relinquishing the NXT women's title. Because I thought that she had a collarbone injury. I don't know what's going on with that whole situation, and I didn't see all of the spoilers.
I'm still confused. Is that legit or is it not legit? I don't.
Oh, storyline?
Yeah, like I'm trying to, because it's so weird that it's like, all right, I had a feeling that once she won, they were going to move her up. I'm like, all right, that's it. She's made. They're going to have her come up. She's going to relinquish the title. I was expecting something like this, but then we heard she got hurt. And that it was a collarbone injury, and she's going to be out for a long period of time. I'm like, oh, man, what are they going to do? But it looks like they said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just keep going with that storyline. She's relinquishing. She's going to make her debut eventually when she heals up. That's what I think they're trying to say. So eventually when she does come back, she will come back to the main roster and now they'll probably do some kind of tournament on NXT for the women's title.
Well, I remember there was like a small interview, and Triple H was like, he doesn't want Asuka to leave NXT.
Because they didn't know what to do with her. That's the thing. It's like she needs a manager. She needs somebody just like, Paul Heyman. She needs Paul Heyman. She needs somebody to talk for her, and to sell matches. That's what she needs. That's all she's missing. It's a mouthpiece. If she has a mouthpiece, she'll be fine. But it's like, I don't know. That seems to be a dying breed of having a manager. I mean, we have Paul Ellering doing it for the two guys from Canada, who I'm pretty sure speak English, but for some reason they don't have them speaking English. They're speaking Serbian or something, because one of the guys is also from like native of Iraq or something. But still, the point is like, bring managers in. Give her a manager. That's it, and she'll be fine. But I mean, she can go. I mean, there's girls up there that could do it too.
But Triple H should also be her manager.
Who? Triple H?
Like in like a fantasy world, I would love Triple H to be her manager.
I don't know. Maybe. But I think I mean, not to go with the stereotype, but I think it would just help if she had even a Japanese manager. So when she goes on her rant, and it's like, what is she? She's mad. To say something silly like that. She's really mad. Say something silly like that. I think that'd be great. And then she'll just nod her head. It's like, okay, it sounds like she said a lot more, but whatever.
Get Funaki back on.
There you go. Bring Funaki into it. Get him off the commentary booth and get him become a manager.
Yeah, I mean,
no. Well, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Forget it.
What's that?
I was just thinking, because you haven't really got into the whole lucha thing, but Darius Cueto, the main guy who's in charge of manager, he's awesome. I mean, his character, he's so evil. It's just like, it just works. He's great on the mic. If they brought him as a manager, and now that it looks like lucha's done, anything's possible. But,
that'd be very interesting. Yeah.
This is true.
I think as far as Asuka, I'm sorry, actually, Rich, if you were going to say something, go ahead and I'll follow up.
Oh no, I was just going to ask if you're good to talk now.
Well, I'll tackle the Asuka thing first, and then I'll go with whatever else I need to catch up on. I think the Asuka injury, whether it's real or not, is very convenient timing, because it does give a built-in excuse for her to relinquish the belt, rather than just have her say, all these women suck. I need some real competition. Just drop the belt. I'm out of here. Let me go find some real competition, because that would actually bury the roster. So it's very convenient, whether it's a real injury or not. It's very convenient to have Asuka be able to have it be like, okay, she has to drop the belt because she's hurt. This is the only thing that's stopping her, is that she's hurt. And the whole thing with apparently, the whole thank you Asuka thing tells me this is it for her. That it's going to be Raw next for her. I would love you to be SmackDown, but my feeling is it's going to be Raw. By Survivor Series, maybe sooner than that. But that's how they're going to do it. They may have her put over someone in NXT at an upcoming takeover. So she wouldn't be undefeated after that, and it would be a way of really, putting over a female wrestler or something like that. They may not do that right away, but I think that will happen eventually. I think it's time that she goes up to the main roster, and I didn't want her to lose. So I actually, and then going into the SummerSlam thing, and the Takeover Brooklyn, I was actually shocked that she retained the belt there, because I was convinced that Ember Moon was going to get it. That leads into my next thing, is that I thought that was the match of the night, arguably the match of the weekend. Very excited by it. There were times where I was like, I felt a little bad for Ember Moon for not winning that match, because I thought she put a hell of an effort. and they both were great. And Asuka sold like a pro. It was just amazing. I loved it. And that's everything I have to say about Asuka. Other than I hope she kicks ass on SmackDown, but I think they'll be Raw. What else what else did you guys talk about earlier? Sorry that came late.
Everything.
Oh no.
Fire engagement.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We just talked about what we liked and disliked about Takeover and SummerSlam. So
okay, all right. What I liked about that weekend, I loved Takeover as a whole. I didn't have many complaints there. I loved, McIntyre winning the belt and Bobby Roode getting called up. That was nice. I thought the Aleister Black and Tommy fight was as physical as I expected. I loved the Tommy's heel work there. That was a fun match. You guys were right about why am I blanking right now? You guys were right about Sanity winning the tag belts, and that was cool.
Well, the only twist that was the thing. Yeah, that was the only twist. The fact that they threw Eric Young part of that tag team real quick.
Yeah, I think as soon as he came in there, I'm like, Sanity's actually going to win this now. Like, I wasn't sure if it was going to be, Killian Dane and Alexander Wolf were going to get the job done. When they put Eric Young in there, I'm like, here we go, and I could see the crowd was actually behind them once that happened. It was interesting, and it seems like now we have Red Dragon as the heel team, and I think Sanity's going to be face now, so that'll be interesting. What am I forgetting? Yes, Almas beat Gargano as I expected, but Gargano's super over. He's more over than I thought. He's going to be a big player, I think, in NXT. What else? What am I forgetting? I know I'm forgetting like several things. Actually, well, Takeover was short, so we'll just say that. SummerSlam, I actually overall really enjoyed the show. Wasn't a big fan of how the two main events ended. I wanted my boy Nakamura to win the belt. I didn't mind him dropping it to Jinder later on in India. I thought that would have been the thing to do. Vince thought otherwise. That's just how that goes. As far as the main event, the Universal Championship, I said all along that Brock Lesnar retaining was the worst case scenario, and that's exactly what happened. I don't know. I feel like that was a step down for Joe. I feel as though now, he's now lost 2 straight title matches, and he's going to get pushed down as a result. And then you got Brock versus Braun. It's something that we can discuss at a later time. I really don't know how that's going to turn out, but kind of excited for that. We'll see where that goes. But SummerSlam in general, really pumped that my Shield Bros, Ambrose and Rollins, got the tag belts. I'll see how long that lasts. So I'm going to enjoy it while I can. I'll just, there's so much of SummerSlam to go over that, I don't want to dominate the podcast here, just trying to rehash the whole thing. So I'll just say in general, I enjoyed it. It really delivered. It was worth the time watching. I didn't really like how it ended, but that's whatever. In general, I still had fun. So yeah.
Sounds good. And I'll be the first to say that I'm very surprised to hear that you thought everything was good, because I know we didn't like the main events, but I was surprised you thought everything else was fantastic. That's interesting.
Well, I'm just curious. What was there any matches in particular that you guys were all thumbs down on? apart from the first, the last two matches.
What was that? Which ones that we didn't like?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
From SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Well, we talked about that. That was Ginger. We didn't like that one. We didn't like the fact there was a squash match, between supposedly two big guys with Rusev and Randy. That was bullshit.
Oh yeah.
There's no point in that.
I didn't like that at all. Yeah, Rusev deserves better.
Big Show. That was awful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, God. Yeah, I forgot.
And then baby oil. Don't forget baby oil.
Yeah. He slicked himself up just so he could get a boot to the face within like half a second after he landed or something. That was dumb. Not as exciting as a potential heel turn by Enzo and rejoining with Cass as speculated. I didn't think that would happen, but I also didn't think that the match would end so shortly after Enzo got out of the damn cage. So that was lame. And then, have we addressed Cass's injury or no?
Yeah, we were just talking about that right before we were talking about the beach ball stuff. Yeah, that when you came in, we were ending the conversation about the beach ball controversies, and but yeah, we spoke about Kaz right before that.
Okay, yeah, it's very unfortunate with Kaz having the torn ACL really here, right when he came the big push. I don't know. So now the feeling I get is that when he gets healed up next year and comes back, he'll reunite with Enzo, and they'll be like, okay, let's try this again. Because I think that they're better together than they are apart, for sure. So, I mean, that's just my thing, but let's see.
I think it's going to work for Enzo at 205. He's going to prove that that's all he has to do is talk. I mean, the fact that they put him up there with Neville, he just has to talk. I think it'll work out for him, and if the ratings go up, it's going to prove that it did work. And that's where he belongs, and this is more like a promotion for him. It'll be all right. Plus, he's traveling with a different crew now. So now they don't have to worry about him having beef and stuff with other people. Now he has a whole new set of people to piss off. So it'll work out.
Yeah, and they're all as small as him, so I guess he has a chance if he gets.
There you go. And he can really step to them in the back and do his little head chicken dance, and then they'll be like, "Oh, okay." And then we'll start hearing stories in the back about him having fist fights and stuff, and it'll be fun. It's a win-win for everyone.
As long as he doesn't pick a fight with Jack Gallagher, who'll murder him if that happens. I want to say, Adam, that you predicted that Enzo would go to 205 Live, unless I was thinking of someone else.
I had a feeling because it just made sense. He's a little guy in the big man's land, and I figured after this match, I mean, there's no need for him there. And hell, there was no need for that match that Kaz got hurt. A Brooklyn street fight? Come on now. I mean, what's the point? We already seen Kaz. I mean, when they're like, oh, this feud, this rivalry, there is none of it. In order to have that, the opposing party needs to at least win one match. You know what I mean? It's just been a stomping the whole time.
It's a rivalry.
Yeah, it's like, for what? This is no rivalry. I mean, the guy comes out, he talks a big game, and then he gets smashed. The realest guy in the room, you're the realest guy in the room getting smashed every night. There's no point in that. So that's it.
Rivalry. I mean, it's a rivalry between the hammer and the nail.
It just makes so much sense that he's from Jersey because they're big talkers. Big talkers. Everybody knows that. Even people in Jersey are like, what are you talking about? Hey, you know you're a big talker. They're all big talkers. Everybody knows. It's a little man syndrome that he has. And he comes out and it works. It's funny. People laugh at it, But when it comes to ring performance and you have him going against someone like Big Cass, and people are like, oh, well, they've done this with Big Show and Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio knows how to wrestle. He knows how to go, and he also beat the Big Show a few times. You know what I mean? No way Enzo is going to win, and he didn't even come close to winning in that match either. But they do the street fight, and that's when Kaz got hurt. So it's like that was not needed. That match was not needed, and the fact that they even threw that in there was a waste of time. Because now, look, now you hurt yourself. You went to the well too many times on some bullshit, and an accident happened.
That's right.
I mean, wasn't that the whole point of SummerSlam, to end the feud, right? Isn't that what all these big pay-per-views, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Rumble, WrestleMania, those are the climax for feuds and stories, right? That's it.
See, you are 100% correct, and yet we still got Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles again the night after for the title. So yeah,
I get the rematch, and throwing these things in, but it's getting out of control now because it's like every Raw and SmackDown is turning into a clone of the previous pay-per-view that just happened. I mean, you got to stop this shit. I remember before when they did these type of rematches, the rematches were held off until the next pay-per-view. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, I'll see you in 4 weeks. And nope, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll do the same shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, what's the point? Is this more like just to, all right, everybody's tired. We spent all this time in the last one. Let's just do it again and wrap up and go home. Because that's what it feels like. It's like, all right, let's just redo everything. So it's sad.
What do you think of the whole reverse rematch thing that they did, where we're going to have the matches happen the week before the pay-per-view, so that by the time you get to the pay-per-view, you'll see it again a second time?
Yeah. Oh, that was just I think that was just to get buzz. All of that was just to get buzz. The whole thing was the guy winning 205, the belt, all of that was going on just to get buzz. And it was, again, no point. I don't know if it worked. Like even when they did with Finn Balor, and it's like, oh, he poured that acid on. They couldn't even say that it was like fake blood because it's PG and all. So what's the point of doing that? You know what I mean? There was no point to that. Oh, he beat him, so you basically just guaranteed that Finn is going to come back strong, and win the next match because he's bringing the demon out. Remember, I mean, just even have Corey Graves the way he's like, oh no, don't tell me this. Don't tell me he's going to do it. Also, yeah, he's getting the face paint. Come on now. You know what? The only time that type of shit works is when they were talking about Mick Foley and Terry Funk. It's like, oh, don't tell me he's doing this. Doing what? He's bringing the barbed wire bat and it's on fire. Then you can sell it that way. But face paint, you can't sell it that way. I'm sorry. The face paint don't do shit for me. You know what I mean? Unless the guy's coming out with like a barbed wire bat or doing something, or like Sabu, he's wrapping barbed wire around his chest and running at you, then I'm not hyped. I'm not excited for that. Don't hype it up with paint.
I remember that being hyped was during the 2008 One Night Stand.
Oh, the One Night Stand.
Yeah.
Remember, what was it? Was that the one where Edge had the mask and he took the mask off and he showed up?
Yep.
Cena was on that card too. I think it was Edge that beat up on Cena and people were like cheering him and stuff. Oh, the days.
That was so good. Oh my gosh. And even Terry Funk go behind him. He was in there still kicking butt.
Mm-hmm.
Eating all over the place.
Terry Funk is better than Roman Reigns. Everybody knows
it. Yeah. Don't tell Vince that.
Even at 70 years old, he could take better bumps.
Yeah, don't tell Vince that.
Bob Backlund is better than Roman Reigns.
Lost face chicken wing.
All right, so we got 2 more topics to get into real quick. So Adam, you mentioned earlier about the WWE 2K18 gameplay footage. Dana, did you get to see the footage or the new additions that were announced for the roster yet?
I saw it all. And I feel nothing.
Oh, wait a second. Now, so you didn't enjoy the Bobby Roode entrance? I know you saw it, Ricky. You didn't like the Bobby Roode entrance?
That's not going to make me buy a game and spend $60.
Yeah.
I could just watch the network for $9.99.
The only thing, well, that's the only thing I did see that looked like an improvement was just how smooth the game felt. Like I mentioned this before, it looked like they did add some frame rates to the actual in-ring action. If anybody hasn't seen it, go watch it. Look up John Cena, Randy Orton, 2K18. You'll see it, and it's just something about it. It just, I don't know. I guess maybe they changed up some of the animations, like when they're getting up and stuff, and now you can actually pick the person up and move him around and stuff, so you can set things up. But something about it, it just looked all right. But still, the main thing that I want to see is the features of the modes, the game modes, because that's what we're going to do. And I don't want to do a bunch of normal matches and quick matches. I want, something like what they had before with the showcase. I'm hoping that they do something with that. So they haven't showed that off, or talked about any of the other modes or any revamps that they did. I think you mentioned it, Dana. What kind of real changes did they make to the career mode, or do I still have to do like 200 matches and hope that I get promoted?
It's around that. No, what they said was it's going to be very storyline focused. So you're going to probably have to work your way up to the top with the 200 or so matches.
But then even storyline focused, meaning a lot of text, reading text, because then that's what that's all about. I mean, I'd rather have. That's what I loved about the showcase ones. They had a narrator and he would show footage of real shit happening. Do that, or hell, even get the narrator to do it. Let's say, I don't know, name a fake wrestler in your mind, real quick. Rich. Fake wrestler. Name somebody that you made up.
Fake wrestler.
Oh,
all right, there you go. You gave up. King Bobo. So King Bobo, right? So let's say have a narrator just saying you have like your hype name, the super crazy King Bobo. Like, super crazy has just won the #1 contender match. He is now going against, and then say it's Kevin Owens or so. You know what I mean? And then have it do little clips showing highlights of matches that you just did. You know what I mean? They can do something like that. Just do it that way. Don't have me just read a bunch of dialogue boxes like we're playing some old ass game on a Super NES. I don't want to do that. And see them miming. No, and all I'm doing is pressing the X button to just fast forward through this shit because I don't care. That doesn't do it for me. Showcase mode, that did it because that was telling a story with the narrator and showing the footage and stuff. So I'm like, oh, I remember this match. I'm getting hyped. They can do it again with newer stuff. You don't have to go that far back. There's plenty of great feuds that have happened since hell. They can do the whole Shield thing because of Seth Rollins. I thought that's what this whole thing with Seth Rollins was when he's smashing everything, that they were going to tell his story, and show him come up through like an indie. Make up some fake indie promotion, show him come up through there and show him go in NXT. I'm sure he did some voice work. Have him talk to people. You know what I mean? Have him say some shit. I don't know. Do something. Have him move all the way up to NXT. So maybe we'll play the part where he joins up in the Shield. Maybe they could have did some dialogue with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose in the background. We should tag up. We should do this. I don't know. Spice it up. Do something. If Madden can do it, you can do it. So, just throw something in there. But right now it doesn't look like that. It looks like we're just going to get a rehash. A lot more wrestlers in there. Some of the ones we want, some of the ones we don't want, unless it's DLC. And that's it. Entrances look pretty. They're great. But after a while, you stop watching that shit. You skip it or you turn it off like I do. Because you're like, what? I've seen it enough. This is dragging out. I don't need to keep seeing this long entrance. The Wyatt family love that entrance. After the third time, went into settings, turned off entrance. I'm done. That's it. I want to play the game. And that's not playing the game unless I'm running in. I love the interference one where you can just run down and just whoop the guy's ass while he's coming down. That's always fun. But yeah, I just want to see the features. I mean, I'm still gonna get it. We're all gonna get it. We like wrestling games. It's the only one besides Fire Pro. It's a dead horse. We all know that. But we just want improvements. We wanted to have fun, and I enjoyed the showcase when they had that. And then this last version, they took that out and gave us a whole lot of nothing. So hopefully they realized that and went back. I don't know the sales numbers, but I don't think they ever give a shit about the sales numbers. So it's just something they push out. It's just like all the little toys they push out. It's just another toy. So,
that's right, just another toy.
Just another toy.
So Go ahead, Dana.
Does it? But it's supposed to look prettier.
Prettier, but then then we get into specs. Well, do you have a 4K TV? We have a 4K mode, and then it'll look even better on that one, and you'll get the 1080p if you don't have that. So I mean, we could go into that whole thing. Who knows? Pretty or not, it'll be fun. What I would like to see is facial animations. I know that would be the hardest thing to do. But I don't know. Just like if I go to pick up a guy and powerbomb him, I want to see his face, his eyes go, oh, I want to see something funny like that, Or hell, with Shinsuke, he has a mouthpiece. Have it where I punch him in the face and I see the mouthpiece fly out or something. I think that'd be fun.
Yes, a lot from Ukes. So
I don't know. There's a bunch of little tweaks they can do to that. Don't know if we're gonna see it. You know, I'm tired of all the hype. Oh, we made massive changes this year. Yeah, you say that shit every year. You know what I mean? It's like I want to actually see it, you know, and just break it down. They used to do that. They used to break down every mode and stuff. They stopped when they realized they weren't adding new shit for a while.
Well,
So,
when you said those little tweaks about, say, if you punch some guy in the stomach and you want to see that face, some cellular moves, they did emphasize that is going to be improved. So you're going to get that.
yeah, well, that's why I'm thinking during that match. I have to watch it again. Just something looked different about it, you know. And you know, of course, the commentary is great that they changed it up. So anything's better than hearing the same old commentary.
I
You know,
just
so.
I just want to say one thing real quick. The main thing, the video that I saw, the main complaint that the person who was recording the footage had was the commentary is still horrible, even with the new people on there. It's like it feels like they're just reading lines off a piece of paper with no emotion.
What they need to do, and I know it's hard and it's time consuming because they said it was super hard to do, was what they did with the UFC game with Joe Rogan and Goldberg, and what they had was they just cut and paste. They cleaned up audio, cut and paste from actual real matches from those fighters. So you had their reactions and stuff from when those guys actually did fight. You know, so if they there's tons of content that they can do that for everybody. So when they would give a hype for, like, let's say Kevin Owens, oh, he's this and that, and this, cut that and add that in. So when Kevin Owens comes out, as opposed to saying he's a great guy, this guy came up from NXT, you know, writing some bullshit. You know what I mean? It's like cut and paste the stuff that they said on TV, clean it up. They did that in the UFC game, and it sounds so genuine. You know, so when they got a head kick or something, you're like, oh my God, he's screaming, excited. You know, just because that was him really excited when that guy did the head kick live. You know what I mean? They can do the same thing. It just takes a lot of time. You know? So, I mean, if they do it that way, it'll be fine, because if you get it right and you keep doing that, you'll have content for days. You won't have to worry about getting people to come back in and to do all that audio work, because it's already there. You know what I mean? It's like it's already there. I debuted, said all this nice stuff about him. All right, when did you do that? NXT Thursday. All right, get the tape for that. Let's get the audio. We're gonna cut and splice that in.
Well, I guess all of this is a possibility if they decide to take a year off. They need more time to actually fix a lot of the issues with the game. But I don't know. Yeah, the gameplay video, there were some things that were interesting about it, but yeah, I definitely need to see more of it. Definitely need to get hands on time. But
oh, and they showed the chamber. They showed the new chamber.
Oh yeah, in the chamber entrances now that should have been in the last game are finally there. That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, if there's one positive thing I will say, listen, I'm just glad that Bobby Roode is in the game. You know, I'm glad some of the people that I saw on the roster that are in the game. I saw the pictures of Ember Moon. So yeah, it was great to see all of that thus far. Still didn't see Aleister Black. Or Roderick Strong. You know, I guess we'll hear about those characters as DLC.
All right, DLC. Put me down on the list. Put me down the list that Aleister Black, I'm saying it's going to be DLC.
Yeah.
He's
he probably will.
DLC.
Yep, he probably will.
Not at launch. It's going to be like 3 months down the road DLC. No, it's going to be like
January.
You'll get him eventually. You know, and
so in other words, you're saying that he'll be announced as DLC. That'll come out in January, and by that time, Aleister Black will have already made his main roster debut. So he'll be out of date.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the authors are paying also, because I don't think they've announced them yet. And
they haven't. You know, that's a good one. I haven't seen them yet, so they definitely should be. Well, they shouldn't be DLC, but you know.
Hey, we got Brutus the Barber Beefcake, so let's get thrilled. And we got the Von Erichs. Like the younger generation even know about the Von Erichs. Whatever.
Yeah.
Tragic.
That's a sad story with all of them. Kids, don't look that shit up. You'll see some horrible things. Don't look them up. But it's okay because they're in the game.
But hey,
you kill other people, but if you kill yourself, you're getting in the game.
But hey, we do have Eddie Guerrero in the game also. So that's I know a lot of fans will like that. I'm not sure if he was.
Eddie was missing for a few years, I thought.
They made him. Yeah, they took him out for someone, but I'm pretty sure he was in a. Gotta see. I don't. No. He's not in this one. I don't think so because
What,
I've
Eddie's
unlocked almost everybody. And I haven't seen him in there. I mean,
What,
I've seen
Eddie?
like 4 stunners. There's 4 Steve Austins and a shitload of Rocks. And a bunch of Undertakers. If you count all the, that's the other shit that pisses me off when they're like, oh yeah, look at all these wrestlers. No. Those are skins on those shits. I get it. You get the themes and all this stuff, but still, it's the same freaking guy. You know what I mean? It's not like a Dude Love, Cactus Jack, Mick Foley. Okay, those are different characters. But Steve Austin's still same Steve Austin, unless you count Stunning Steve, but it's still the same shit. It's why can't I just select through the options? There you go.
Same damn thing. Where you have 8 flavors of Steve Austin, but they're all unique characters.
That's what I'm saying. They did it with Sting. Same thing. Sting. I think there's like 3 or 4 Stings.
But there was 3 or 4, like real life, so it was okay.
That's.
Just a quick comment to make off of the box art that Ricky just showed. There is something wrong with that image, and it is that Steve Austin should have both his middle fingers up to give people a sign to let you know, yes, you will get screwed over if you buy this product. Yes, they decided not to do that, so it is what it is.
It is.
Oh, he's doing the whole Roman Reigns thing with the. Fist in the air or something.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I already regret saying that. But yeah.
No, that's exactly what he's doing. But it is what it is.
We'll see. I mean, bring back the Inferno match. That was funny.
Yeah, we'll definitely see.
Silly stuff like that is always fun.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm looking forward to hearing more about the game. I am going to be going to PAX West next week, so if the game is there, which I don't think it will be, I'll definitely say I have something to say about that the next time. But yeah. Any final thoughts before we move on to what I think is going to be the main topic for tonight?
It's just random.
Say what?
No.
The inclusion of Ivory is just so random.
Why? She's Hall of Famer now.
I know, but it was just like, it was, to me, it was like, really?
Yeah.
Well, she's part of TV, and the whole thing from Glow.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why they had to put her in there, I guess.
And Earthquake, is there a reason for Earthquake?
They always put Earthquake, Typhoon. They already have their images and everything in it, so they put them in there. But, I mean, I found it funny that the first batch announced the Bushwhackers. Who gives a shit? But they're in there. You know what I mean? So
hey, somebody came up.
I mean, bring in Legion of Doom. They haven't done that in a while.
I don't know if they bring that.
Bring in Demolition. Bring them back in.
Demolition.
I don't know
about that. About the lawsuit.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like if you want to start bringing these older dudes in, I mean, there's plenty of them. Hell, bring back Duke the Dumpster Drosy. Let's do that. I don't know.
Well, there is at least one person that you will never see in this game. Okay, well, I take it back. There's 2 people. You will never see in this game, and that is Chris Benoit and CM Punk.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's all right.
Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if Hogan's on this list.
Yeah, he might be in there.
I could see them just they might slip that in there just to see reactions.
And you know what they'll do? They'll have the regular Hogan, they'll have the steroid Hogan, then they'll have the racist Hogan.
Racist Hogan. Which is similar to the Hollywood Hogan, so yeah.
It's interesting that they could have Hogan as a DLC and say, we're going to release this later, and then gauge public reaction, and if there's enough outrage.
The problem with that is that that's drawing attention. Once it's DLC, it draws attention. It makes it special. You're out of the box. You know what I mean? Now people can see it sticking out. If he's just thrown in there, even if they don't announce him, but when you do the VLC, like you have to unlock guys, you just see him there. Oh, that's a quick. Oh, okay, unlock. You know what I mean? They don't have to even announce it. Just put him in there. They know people want to play this.
They don't want to make a big deal about it.
Yeah,
kind of like sneak them in.
Mm-hmm.
See that?
Yeah, the people online will make a big deal about it though. So.
Oh yeah, they'll bring it up. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So let's move on to the main topic that I wanted to discuss tonight on this show. we've already given our recaps of SummerSlam and NXT. But the question I wanted to ask, in
That's
particular,
why Corey Graves and Adam Cole, Michael Cole, why they hate Booker T so much. Do you notice that? Do you notice how they attack him when he talks? They just like badmouth. Oh man, they just constantly attack him when he's. Listen to Raw. Listen to Raw this week.
no, I've heard it. I've heard it.
It's disgusting. Both of
They need
them.
to have Scott Stanford in there. Oh man.
It's like whatever he says, they just like, no, that's not right. Oh no, you're saying things wrong. No, this and this and that.
So here's the thing that I would say about that situation is, I enjoy the ridiculous stuff that Booker T says. Even if it doesn't make
who he is.
Yeah. Yeah, even if it makes no sense, I still am entertained. So,
like when he said, what was it? One of the things he said, he was like, "Oh, this guy can go and he can perform any given Sunday." We know that's a figure of speech. He's like, "Well, yeah, Monday, Monday." Like, it's like, okay, well, you didn't have to do that, on the you didn't have to call him out. And he said something else about like tag teams that with history and they can go and say, "Oh yeah, like compared to you and your brother Harlem Heat, right?" And it's like, whoa, it's like stupid little jabs like that. And then Corey even got in on it and started saying some shit. I'm like, they're all picking on him.
You think that's coming down from Vince?
I don't know. I don't think so, because, we know why he's out there. It's just the way they do things. The only reason why he's out there is because, they want to add some color, legit color, to the color commentary. But,
and they don't want to have Otunga do it.
Yeah, well, David, isn't he acting now?
Yeah, Otunga was supposed to be on there though, so maybe he'll be there this fall.
But that's another one. What the hell? People like David Otunga, what the wrestling lawyer? What the hell? What out of nowhere? The next they just put him there. It's like, okay, whatever. What about the guy in NXT? The other guy that they said is a former wrestler. Never seen a match in the life of this guy. You seen him?
Percy Watson.
Is that him?
Oh, I don't know who he is. Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of the commentators on there.
Yeah, I remember him from when I was following Dean Ambrose in FCW. I remember seeing Percy Watson on there.
That's it. Percy Watson.
Percy Watson, had the big glasses and bald head and stuff, and he never panned out. And I was actually surprised they brought him back. I was like, why? And it feels to me like he is Byron Saxton in training. It feels like.
There you go. And then you got Byron Saxton on the other one. It's like we see what they're doing. It's like, all right, whatever. But then don't bash him. Don't start attacking every little thing he says. Because it makes them look like dicks, both of them.
Remember February? Whoa.
Like there was another time when it was at 2 pay-per-views ago, and he was talking about football or something, and he's saying all the Hall of Fame and football, and then Michael said, "Yeah, no one here watches football. Stop bringing up football." But then whenever there's a football guy in the audience, look at this guy from the Colts and this and that, whatever. Come on now.
Yeah,
a lot of double. An analogy, then just let him go with it.
I thought the thing that kind of made me roll my eyes back in February, the whole Black History Month thing, is that every time it's like, let's zoom in on David Otunga, or let's zoom in on Byron Saxton talking about Black History Month. We're going to have the black guy talk about it. That's what they did that. Sorry, Dan, go ahead.
No, I just said I hated that. That was just awful.
Yeah. It's too transparent. That's we're gonna take Token to the next level here. It's like, look at how we acknowledge black people. We're gonna zoom right in on this guy talking about it and things like that. And then it's like, let's just get it out of the way and be done with it. You can tell they just don't give a shit.
That whole segment was just the black wrestlers talking about Black History Month.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like Mark Henry, Booker T, and all of them. And it's like, all right, fine. But let's see some black WWE champions. That would be nice. You know what I mean? The Rock is still technically the only one. So, yeah, I don't know. But that's a topic for another day. Yeah, I definitely agree that Booker T gets the short end of the stick, especially considering that he's kind of sitting in there on short notice, and he's frank. Like, even though he does pop off and say some ridiculous things, I find him to be the most entertaining guy in that booth. With Michael Cole being a very, very distant third. And I just want to say also, and if anyone at Yuke's WWE Gaming, if any of you guys are watching this, and probably not, but if you are and you're listening to this, I will not buy any of your games until you have the option to have Tom Phillips or anyone who isn't Michael fucking Cole as play-by-play broadcaster. Give me that option, and I will consider buying your games again. Until then, no. I'm tired of Michael Cole. Sorry. I'm just tired of it.
Well, put in Morrow. Morrow needs to get added.
Well, let me just make a quick comment. Yeah, Morrow's good, but Tom Phillips, don't look for Tom Phillips to make an appearance unless you also have a side story about a woman that he talks to and supposedly cheats on, and having these text conversations back and forth. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's not very PG.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, I'll just say this. Yeah, hopefully they address the Booker T issue. But I want to get back to the issue that the question that I wanted to have that I definitely want you all to answer. We can discuss it for just a little bit. So obviously Bobby Roode is now on SmackDown Live. We also know that Shelton Benjamin is also on SmackDown Live. He will not debut until next week when he teams up with Chad Gable.
Which was so weird because they flew him down for that. Why? They just waited for the next week and then be like, oh, you're here? Yeah, and you guys have a match. Because everybody was so excited, and you heard them chanting, stuff, and then like, oh, to find out, no, you're not wrestling tonight.
Yeah, they got money. They got money to blow. So I guess they want to build some hype.
It's the worst thing when they say the words next week. You can just hear the crowd go, oh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the question. So Bobby Roode is now in NXT. I'm going to say in SmackDown. He is being portrayed as a face for now. Obviously, I know he is better as a heel, and my assumption is that he will be a heel sooner rather than later. But I just wanted to ask you guys, now that Bobby Roode is on SmackDown Live, do you think that he can turn things around, or do you think that Vince McMahon is just going to be the same old? Vince is still going to do a bad job, because ever since the shakeup, SmackDown has suffered significantly. So do you guys think that Bobby Roode can help turn things around? That is the main question I wanted to ask. And whoever wants to answer that first, feel free to do so.
I think it depends on creative, where the role they put for him. I mean, we know he can deliver lines. He knows how to give promos. He knows how to get the crowd either riled up or behind him. So it all depends on what kind of role they put him in.
Good. Good explanation.
Because we know he can perform. That's the plus side with him. It's like he's not that flashy in the ring, but the guy can talk, and the guy can, work the crowd, which is great. And that's what they need. They need someone to draw interest. But if he's not putting in any interesting storylines to use his skills, then what do we care? We're not going to see it. You know what I mean? We're just going to be remembering when he was part of Beer Money and all that other stuff. So hopefully, they figure something out. And I mean, I don't know, man. I really rather see a show on a WWE network just about creative and how they do things. I think that would be the most interesting show. Like, do they talk to the wrestlers? Because from what I'm hearing, they don't. That only the big star wrestlers are able to interact with them, regarding stories and stuff. I mean, of course, everything has to go through Vince. But still, like, just to see the whole process, because I know they're not going week by week. They're probably already a month or two ahead, in stories. The wrenches in all this, the monkey wrenches, is when people get hurt or quit or get fired. So I would just like to see that and see, like, all right, have all the writers say, yep, this is what we wrote for this week. And it's like, all right, now we already know the outcome, so they're not really spoiling anything. So we saw, it's like, oh, well, yeah, that doesn't sound right. And then just show how it's on Vince's desk and just him putting big X's on everything. you know, and then just no, 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 you know, and then it's like, okay, that's our show for today. This is how things are done here, you know, because that's what it looks like, you know, and hopefully, same thing. Hopefully, he gets into something. I mean, what can they do with him right now? Are they going to throw him into the mix with Shinsuke and Jinder for the title? They could because he was a champion. That's always been the plus side of having champions move up because then they could throw it in their face. They were a champion somewhere else, you know. And in this case, NXT, you know. So it's like, oh, he's a champion. So when people hear that, well, I guess it makes sense that he gets, you know, right up there with the big boys. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's still young. He just got there, so who knows? I mean, but there's a lot of guys there from TNA that he's worked with, you know, for years, so he can pull up great matches, you know, with like AJ and them. So he'll be fine if creative is fair to him because his character is all about creative. You know, the fact that he comes down and does a glorious, he has to talk. He has to do it, whether it's good or bad. They want to make him a baby face. Got to figure out how to sell that in a babyface way, and the only way you can do that by watching old Flair tapes. Watch some old Flair tapes because that's it. He's coming out with the robe. He's doing the whole thing. He's pandering to the crowds. You're in a way sort of gonna hate him, but you got to find a way to make people like him also, and that's with him on the mic, and that's what happened with Flair. You know. So.
Very good points. Excellent points. All right, Ricky. How about you? What are your thoughts?
I thought it was interesting that they went with kind of a cold debut. They didn't have any, they didn't have any promos.
Like with the Shinsuke.
Yeah, they didn't have any promos building it up. He just kind of showed up, and it was a very mid-card debut because it was Aiden English that he debuted against, and it's like, all right, so that's cool. He showed up, and he's babyface now. Like, I could kind of see them thinking, okay, you know, people are going to pop for his entrance, and we don't want to make him heel right away because the kids are going to be confused. Why are people so happy and excited to see this bad guy? So let's make him good for the introduction. And I think that, like, to go with what Richard said, he'll turn heel sooner rather than later. I think it was just for now to introduce him and have him be, you know, good guy, babyface, and all that. And at some point, they'll go with the heel route, which seems to be a little bit more natural for him or something. But I want to see where they go with this. I have no idea because there was the rumors before Takeover that WWE is very high on him, sees him as a top 5 guy in the company right now, which is basically the main event scene, and yet in English.
I think that was just a squash. That was just to get him out there. It wasn't to start a feud. I think that's all it was. It was like he came out and started singing his stupid song, and then he interrupted, you know, and I think that was it. It was like, you know what? This is just to show what he can do. You know, he showed his movesets, and then he showed he could take some bumps, and that was it. This wasn't even about Aiden English. I think it was just like an intro match. It's like what we used to see with a jobber, but they don't have jobbers anymore. You know,
I mean, I could see that, but it didn't feel like a big deal. Like, I honestly really enjoyed having Bobby Roode debut, and I marked out for it because I've been waiting for that to happen. But it didn't. I don't feel like it was treated like a big deal. Bobby Roode is here. You know, they even tried having the interview afterwards, after the match, and all that stuff. I want to see where they go with this. I'm curious more than anything. But you know, I'm at least glad it's on SmackDown because I was pretty freaking sure that it was going to be Raw. You know, but
Raw is too top heavy with those guys. There's too many, you know, big guys that they don't know what to do with as is. SmackDown, think about it, they have a lot of heels. I mean, AJ still considered a heel, fighting another heel with Kevin Owens. You know what I mean? So they're still heels. So
can I address something out of the last podcast? I think I mentioned that I hadn't been watching NXT for a while, and then there was the match with Drew McIntyre against Bobby Roode, and I asked, like, who's the heel in that? And I think you said like Drew McIntyre kind of had like a heelish promo. It was like I only saw like bits and pieces of it, but it didn't seem like a heelish promo. He's talking about like in like we are NXT. Bobby Roode saying he is NXT and all that stuff. And of course now with Adam Cole setting up that thing, it seems like they're not going to go with Drew McIntyre being a heel as a champion right away. He's going to be a babyface and all that. So it's just like I don't know, like I think I lost what point I was trying to make here. Who was it that you were saying just now? Like, the AJ Styles is still kind of a heel. I mean,
He's
I don't know if I
still
agree
here
with
because
that.
he's great, but it's like he's still all about him. You know, everything is still about him. He's not healing out to the crowd. He's healing out against other wrestlers and so on. About he's the face that runs the place. He's saying heelish things. You know, that's him. It's all about him. So for him being real cocky, you know, and arrogant, that makes you a heel when you come out and say shit like that. So,
He's being anti-hero, I think. That's more, or some people say tweener. You could argue that he's a tweener. I say he's babyface because I kind of judge that by how do you respond to the fans. Even if you're
Braun,
a cocky,
like Braun is the anti-hero. You know, Braun is supposed to be the big guy that's just smashing people. Remember, he was smashing Roman, and we were all supposed to feel sorry for Roman, but yeah, people cheer the shit out of him because he's powerful and he can move, and that's it. So the anti-hero is something that just gets created organically. You know, that was the Steve Austin effect, and that's what's happening with Braun. You know, you can't force that. That just happens. You know what I mean? People just, and that's it. So it'll be smart if WWE run with that, but that's what I mean. Like with Drew, you know, he came out. It's a heel entrance. You know, coming out like the big bad wolf and this and this and that. You know, and his attitude. Yeah, he was going against another heel. You know, and Bobby Roode. But now with Adam Cole coming out, and with the other guys interfering, they are like the invaders, and so then they are the bad guys. So then now you have to take a side. You know, and people are going to take Drew's side, and are they going to make him babyface? He doesn't look like a babyface. He doesn't come down like a babyface. You know, so it's going to be interesting to see how they play that. Even his interviews in the back, you know, it's all about him. You know, and he has something to prove and stuff. Like, all right, whatever. We'll see. But now we definitely know, you know, what they plan on doing with him. What I want to know is what they're going to do with Adam Cole. How are they going to do that? The fact that they put him with Red Dragon, if they're all together, you gotta explain it. You know what I mean? So they have to explain that to the audience, not so much to the NXT audience. NXT guys already know. They were chanting this shit. But to the rest of the audience, why are these three guys here? Why are they together? Why do the rest of the fans next to me give a shit about this guy who looks like CM Punk? What is going on? You know what I mean? Because I'm sure there are people at home that are like, oh my God, CM Punk came back. He grew his hair out. Right?
I saw like Shawn Michaels skinnier.
I'm telling you, I was watching with some people and they were saying, yo, CM Punk is back. You know what I mean? He looks like CM Punk. He's always looked like CM Punk. They could be brothers. You know, remember when WWE did that whole thing with Razor Ramon is back and Diesel is back. You remember? They could have easily did that, and I'm telling you, 8 out of 10 people would have believed it that Punk is back. You know, minus the tattoos, he got them removed. You know, but damn. So they're gonna have to explain that, and whatever name they come up with or do something. You know, I have a feeling they're gonna give him some kind of outsiders type gimmick. You know.
Oh, yeah, we go way back before before NXT, you know, or whatever. I don't know if I'll mention Ring of Honor by name, but yeah, they're gonna have to explain that they have a history together, and that's why they have this little stable forming.
I mean, unless they want to go the cheap route, all these are guys that work together in Japan. Yeah, they worked in Japan. They won some title. You know, that's a cheap route because we've seen them do it all the time. Oh, these are guys that worked all over the world and were big champs in Japan. You know, it's like, okay, we get it. If they do that, that sucks. You know,
it's like they show the footage of Shinsuke Nakamura when he did some work in the Indies in the United States. They show that footage. You know,
Shinsuke was in Ring of Honor too. You know what I mean? That's a bunch of shit. But Who knows? I mean, and this isn't, and they're not done. They're still scouting. They have another guy. They have Leo. Leo. Oh fuck, what's his last name? This guy's a high flyer. He's like Ricochet. He's had actually a match with Ricochet. This guy, damn, what's his name? Leo. Oh, fuck. I'll find it. Anyway, Ring of Honor guy, and they just signed him, and he came out and said, "Yeah, I signed." So he's another one.
Leo Rush.
Leo Rush. Look up Leo Rush. You'll see highlights, and this guy's only been doing it for like a handful of years, and he is amazing. And they picked him up quick, So they're picking up, and that's the thing. They're picking up a lot of guys from Ring of Honor, a lot of guys. So I guess it makes sense, especially like with the Red Dragon. I mean, those guys were a tag team as Red Dragon, so they know how to work well together. So it makes sense. So you have them both, put them together. Okay, that works. But when I saw that, that's why I was like, well, if they're coming in as a heel, then you're gonna have to make way for someone else. And I just thought that, the other dudes, the big dudes, were gonna move up. What's it called? Oh man, I'm zoning out now. But the big guys that lost the titles, I thought they were gonna come up.
Authors of Pain.
Yeah, Authors of Pain. I was like, all right, now you have this heel team in here. Authors of Pain can move up. But that didn't happen.
Well, it could still happen at some point. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Leo, and we still don't know about Ricochet. That's still up in the air. I heard he just did some little promotion. We still don't know. I just watched the episode, the last episode for Lucha for this season, and supposedly that's when everything gets squashed with the contract. Everything is finished and said and done with a lot of wrestlers. So I mean, this could be very interesting for all promotions, for GFW and for PWG. I mean, this could be very interesting because the word is that a lot of these guys, are done. They're not coming back to Lucha. Not that they hated them, but they just couldn't do that whole deal of like, oh yeah, we work this and we can't work in North America again until all the episodes air. And remember, they took that 4-month break or whatever it was, and it really pissed off a lot of people because this season should have been over a long time ago. And so they dragged it out. So once the last episode airs, then that's it. It's done. They fulfill the contract, and a lot of those wrestlers can work in North America. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on. I mean, Johnny Mundo already popped up at GFW as Johnny Impact. So he was their big name. He was their star. Ricochet was their big star. Ricochet openly said he's done. He's never going back there. There goes that. Rey Mysterio said he was done. Pentagon Jr. said he's doing some other things. Him and his brother Phoenix. I mean, these are their big stars.
Johnny Impact is a terrible name, just by the way.
Yeah, it's stupid. It is a stupid name.
Yeah.
So
looking forward to King Neville against King Ricochet.
Neville versus King Ricochet. Man, that would no. See, that's the thing. He would be great with a lot of those guys on 205, but I don't want him on 205. I mean, I want him at the big show, but he can't.
I don't think
never put him. He would never do it.
I don't think he wants to be on 205 either.
And it's like, man, I just hope if he does sign, like they said he did, and that was a done deal a long time ago, that he's going to be good, that they do, that he puts something in his contract that he doesn't go to certain things and he doesn't get treated a certain way. Sort of like how AJ signed to saying, listen, this is where I'm going, this is what I want, give me that. Because I don't want to see him on 205. I don't want to see him. Hell, part of me doesn't even want to see him in NXT. I do want to see him on the top roster. I want the world to see this man. But the problem is, we're not going to see the version that we've been seeing. I don't see him doing a double moonsault. You know what I mean? I don't see them letting him do a lot of the shit that he does. So it's going to be tough. But then again, maybe he will be in NXT. I mean, his Blanchard is his girlfriend, and she got signed. So, and maybe he'll do, I don't know. I just hope they do right by him. That's all. If he did officially sign with them.
We'll see what happens. So, any final thoughts before we get ready to wrap up the show? Dana, you have any thoughts on Bobby Roode or anything else that we might have missed?
I just want to say that I really hope that they don't screw this up, because he has everything that you need to make the show. He has a charisma, he has charm, he has everything. He's great on the mic. He's okay as a wrestler, but it doesn't really matter. As long as you can have that personality, you can really impact the show. So just don't screw it up. And by me pleading for them not to screw it up will mean that they'll probably end up screwing it up. Just wait and see, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I will say that Roode is a Triple H guy, so at least he has that going for him. But we'll see how far that gets him with Vince.
On Raw. That means nothing. If you're a Triple H guy, then that kind of means like Vince has it out to destroy you.
Just to prove his point. Oh, this is the guy you back? Can't hang with the big boys. Look how small he looks. What? Finn Balor? Finn boy. Look at him. Look at him like a child.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
It's mad. I hate this. It gets me mad. All this just got me mad.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I think that wraps up this week's show. Any final shout outs that you guys would like to give? How about you go first, Adam?
Watch Lucha, man. People just want to go to season 2 on Netflix. Just jump in. Just see why I'm so hyped on this. And it's sad that we're losing it because there is nothing like it. Ring of Honor is not like it. PWG, New Japan, nothing is like Lucha Underground. It was his own thing, and it's so special. And I feel like once it's gone, I'm definitely gonna run out and get the DVD sets and the Blu-rays and the ultra lights whenever the new texture, whatever new format comes out, because this is special. There is nothing like it. It is nothing like it. So go watch that. And that's it. There's plenty of wrestling out there, people. There's plenty of wrestling. Watch everything. You bitch about this, you don't want to watch that, whatever. Look online. We have YouTube. I mean, back in the day, you had to go through tapes and go to different video stores to try to find weird shit. Now it's everywhere. So plenty of that stuff. And enjoy life. Enjoy the weekend.
Absolutely. Dana, any final shout outs that you would like to give?
Yeah, shout out to beach balls everywhere. Love you. You'll see a return soon in a WWE match or somewhere floating around.
I have a feeling flamingos. We're gonna put up some flamingos around, and then just carry it around. People just pass around a flamingo.
They brought back the what was it? The Southpaw wrestling.
Yep. Oh, I gotta watch the new one.
So watch that. That's great as well. Looking forward to the tournament. I think that's going to be the most exciting WWE right now. So shout out to. I also wanted to mention how much I thought it was weird, but I kind of enjoyed the HBK Colonel Sanders KFC.
God.
I don't know why he did that to him, but yay, Shawn Michaels for still being alive and kicking.
All these cheesy commercials that they're doing for their sponsors, it's just
cringe.
They did it with the pizza, right? With the fashion police or whatever, doing the whole thing. Oh, at least she has great tasting food. Really? Because none of you fuckers eat this shit. You don't. Oh, whatever.
Yeah. That was odd. So, yay. They need that money though, so they have to promote whoever they can.
I'll tell you this much: what I'm surprised has never happened. This is something that I had predicted a long time ago. I kept calling it never happened, but I guess it's not really a prediction. But I'm surprised they never put a sponsorship in the middle of the ring, like a Burger King or something on the mat. You know what I mean? Like, I always thought that was a no-brainer. I'm like, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. And then the UFC came around. The UFC had logos all over the mats. I'm like, the UFC's doing it. They're making money. I'm going to see it. We're going to see a big Taco Bell sign right here in the middle of the ring. And they can always change it out. They never did it, though. It's like sacred ground.
But didn't they do something with like Brock Lesnar's shorts or tights or whatever?
He has Jimmy John's on his shorts. He's sponsored by Jimmy John.
Yeah.
Never talk about it, but yeah, those are Jimmy John logos on his shorts.
This match of Kalisto versus Sin Cara is brought to you by Taco Bell.
Oh.
Yeah. They'll the Vince would do that kind of thing.
At least they got rid of the slogan "Run for the Border," because that was offensive as hell. Oh man, shit! I can't believe it. Just the marketing on that. Who approved that shit? I would have loved to have been in that meeting. It was like, all right, we got a bunch of slogans, but this is the one we're going with. Run for the border. What do you guys think? And everybody was like, thumbs up. That makes perfect sense to me. Holy shit.
And also shout out to the Miz for passing the Ultimate Warrior on the list of longest reigning Intercontinental Champions. So
awesome.
I don't give a shit what people say. I don't like the Miz. I don't care. And they're like, oh, he's doing, let me shoot promos when he talks about being held back. Bullshit. You know what I mean? He won the title. He's been in big matches for the longest. How long has this feud with Cena been going on? Years. Even before he started mimicking him and doing all that stuff. I mean, so he's made it to the top. You know, I don't see him as an underdog. I just never liked him.
Yeah.
So how about you, Ricky? Any final shout outs?
Shout out to you, Rich, for the SummerSlam viewing party we had, man. That was fun. Always good to do that, and hopefully I'll have a bigger party for WrestleMania, but that's quite a while from now. I don't really have much other shout outs to give here, so yeah.
Absolutely, yes. It was a good time. So shout out to you for having me over for the event. We will definitely do it again. And I definitely
you guys met on Craigslist, and now look, you're friends in real life and everything. Craigslist doesn't produce just weirdos and stuff, you know. People know
wrestling
people
dorks
too. Wrestling dorks, private chat. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But no. Yes. Shout out to all the Patreon supporters, all the fans that continue to watch all the content, and we will be back for a new co-op on Sunday, so stay tuned for that. But until then, hope you all have a good evening. Enjoy the Mayweather-McGregor fight tomorrow, and we'll talk to you all next week.
Later.